Welcome to Tri-Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Chip Tarkenton along with Reggie Rivers. That's Nebraska's first run of the football today. Dan Alexander. You see our game is already underway. Iowa State tried the old onside kick, little dribbler that they recovered. Could not get a first down. They've just punted. This is Nebraska's first time with the football. They run off the right side, pick up 5 yards on the first carry. Second down, 5. And off again to the big high back Alexander, who bust up near the 20-yard line, and he'll be just shy of a first down.
As a big gut check for Iowa State. Eric Crouch, he's a Heisman candidate. He is the stud. He does all the things that Nebraska needs him to do, makes the defense look a little bit silly. So now you have a big gut check right here. If they can hold them, 3rd and 4, make Nebraska punt, they're right back in.
Twin receivers to this side of the field, the near side. Man in motion. Crouch with the down the line option. This is what Nebraska loves to do. The pitch, and it looks like he's come up close to a first down. Depends on where they mark the ball. The pitch was to Alexander. So look at the chilly offensive line for Nebraska.
And the way this line moves on the option is amazing. You'll get a chance to see them in action today.
Wide receivers.
Bobby Newcomb is a former quarterback who has moved to receiver so that he and Crouch could both be on the field at the same time.
And the backfield.
This defensive backfield will have its work cut out today.
Just short. Nebraska will be forced to punt the football. Dan Haydenfeld back in punt formation. Good kick away. Fair catch is made by Iowa State, and once again they're in good field position. We'll take a pause, and then we're coming back to Jack Tri-Stadium. It's Nebraska, Iowa State. Stay with us. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa. Iowa State with their second possession of the game. Sage Rosenfels is at quarterback. Both teams coming into the game unbeaten. Perfect 4-0 records. You see the stats on Sage. He's having a great season. He is a big key for this Iowa State offense. Iowa State almost the same place they started their first possession. 48-yard line, their own 48. They'll go straight ahead. Haywood nowhere to go, running into that huge defensive line for Nebraska. Here's the Chili's offensive line for Iowa State.
Lorenzo White has been a pleasant surprise for them. He transferred in this ball and moved right into the starting lineup.
And the wide receivers.
Now keep an eye on J.J. Moses. It may be an exaggeration to say he's 5'6", not quite that tall, but he is the big play guy.
And the backs.
Ennis Haywood is the 4th in the nation in rushing. He'll get a lot of touches today.
We know we talked about 12 people there, folks. It's the Big 12, but you'll see a lot of formations out of Iowa State. They try to go straight ahead. No going. Kyle Vanden Bosch in the backfield, making the stop on Ennis Haywood.
Well, Vanden Bosch is a guy who lives in the weight room, and it shows on the field, makes a good play there.
And the linebackers for Nebraska.
Polk is the emotional leader of this defense, but he may be hampered by a sprained ankle today. We'll keep an eye on him.
And the secondary.
In the secondary, Craver is a Thorpe Award candidate and a great cover corner.
Second down, 11 yards to go for Iowa State. They need a big play here. Something to happen. Rosenfels looks down the middle. He's got a man wide open. Craig Campbell. Touchdown, Iowa State. 53 yards. Rosenfels to Campbell. And Iowa State strikes first.
This has been Nebraska's problem this year. Their defense is stout. When you look at them on film, there's nothing that jumps out at you and says, hey, they've got holes in their defense and here's something they can exploit. But every week they give up big plays and teams are able to move the ball on them. Iowa State with the big strike for a touchdown. People here in Ames are going crazy.
Mike McKnight comes in to attempt the point after touchdown. Right down the middle. And Iowa State has jumped to a 7-0 lead over number 1 Nebraska. Boy, have we got one to stay with. Stay tuned. Is the rage here in Ames, Iowa. A 53-yard touchdown pass to Craig Campbell. just like that, Iowa State has taken a 7-0 lead over the top team in the land. Mike McKnight will kick off for Iowa State. A high kick that will come down at about the 3-yard line. Bobby Newcomb under it. Up near the 25-yard line, and Nebraska will take over 1st and 10. Let's take a look at that touchdown pass, Reggie.
You look at this pass here. Sage gets the snap. They bring the blitz, but the running back picks it up, and they're just running a skinny post. The safety was playing a little bit too shallow and doesn't get over far enough. 53-yard touchdown is the result. You know, nothing too fancy about it. Craig Campbell, wide receiver. This is his 10th career catch. First touchdown at ISU, but just beat him on the skinny post. The safety needed to be a little bit deeper.
Heisman candidate Eric Crouch leading Nebraska. Option play you'll see all day. There's the pitch. 38, Alexander moves across the 30-yard line to about the 32-yard line. Alexander, a big player. Take a look at that Iowa State defense. The Chili's line up. Big Reggie Hayward, the big man there.
He's the leader of the defense. He'll try to hit Crouch every time he runs the option.
And the backers.
Walker is another former quarterback who's made a surprisingly smooth transition to linebacker.
Good look there at Eric Crouch, the junior. 6'1", 200 pounds. He's like a running back in the backfield. The handoff off the right side. That is Alexander. He should have the first down. And the secondary for Iowa State.
Defensive backs will have their work cut out for them today. They mostly are going to have to come up and support in the run.
First down for Nebraska. This is what Nebraska would like to do, is take the ball and methodically move it down the field. They've opened it up a little more this year. Reggie was throwing the football, and they come out a little different formation here, but they'll flank off. Pitch back again. Alexander, not a lot of room.
Talking to the Nebraska coaches this week, they'd certainly like to have the big plays on offense that they're accustomed to, but they really want to march the ball methodically down the field. They are a little bit afraid of this Cyclones offense and the way that their defense has been playing the past few weeks. They know that the best defense they can give and the best help they can give their defense is to hold on to the ball, have some long drives on offense.
Dustin Avey making the stop, the senior. Second down. A little bit closer to 9 yards, folks. Crouch throws it, and it is complete on the side to Newcomb. Newcomb hauls it home.
Bobby Newcomb.
First down for Nebraska.
From Eric Crouch.
Now let's look at what Nebraska needs to do. They need to control the football, what I just talked about. Hold on to it, have some long drives to help out their defense, avoid turnovers. Last year Nebraska lost 25 fumbles because the option can be a high-risk affair with all that pitching, but the Huskers make big plays. Even though it's high risk, the risk outweigh the rewards, and they score a lot of points.
Dell Game Solutions. Crouch looking again. Going deep, and it is complete and caught. That's Tracy Wistrom, the big tight end. He makes a lot of huge catches, and he made one there. The junior, 6'5", 230. Nice pitch and toss against the wind.
It is nice. You know, Crouch can throw the ball well. He's known as a running quarterback, but when he needs to throw it, he can throw it. This is a perfect strike. Wistrom hauls it in. He's kind of become a touchdown tight end this year. Scored 4 touchdowns, but he's really making a name for himself as a receiver.
Mark Timmons pushed him down from behind. First down again for Nebraska. The Cornhuskers showing you why they're ranked #1 in the land. They go straight ahead with a one back. That's Alexander, who's inside the 30, close to the 26. Let's finish up those Dell Game Solutions, Reggie.
For Iowa State, they also want to make them march. They don't want the Cyclones don't want them to be able to get the fast break game where the momentum gets going for Nebraska. They want to get behind enemy lines. When Nebraska starts running that option, Iowa State wants to try to run a linebacker through the gap to kind of break things up, and they need to be physical. It's been a blowout most games that the game is over before it really gets started. The Cyclones need to hit them hard, hit them early.
Official timeout on the field. Not quite sure what the timeout has been called for. In the play clock on the north end of the end zone, not working properly. We're going to go to the Iowa State bench. There's the defensive coordinator, Oscar Daney.
He was talking about dealing with that offensive attack that Nebraska has. They run a lot of different versions of the option. They have their regular dive option. They kind of have a belly G option as the officials try to figure out what's wrong with that score clock. Well, actually, it looks like the game clock is back on now. Hey, all it took was the threat of him walking over that phone call. People upstairs got scared.
You get dinner reservations early.
But Nebraska runs a lot of different versions of the option, and so they're going to try to figure out a lot of different ways to deal with it defensively. Change up the person who's responsible for the quarterback, change up the technique they're using, sending linebackers through, running stunts on defense to try to give their defensive linemen a head start.
And the play clock is working again now. It's a good look at Nebraska head coach Frank Solich. Played in Nebraska, assistant coach under a great coaching staff. Been there a long time, was handed the job. Crouch nowhere really to go on the option play there. Nice play by Ab Turner, the outside linebacker. Too many red shirts for Crouch to find anywhere to go with it.
That's exactly the way that Iowa State wants to play that. They had one guy on the dive back, they got a guy on the quarterback, and they had a guy taking the pitch. When you're facing an option offense, it makes you play assignment defense. Everyone has to stay on your assignments, don't get distracted by the ball, and just go to the guy that you've got.
Huge third down and 3 yards to go for Nebraska. Sellout crowd on hand here. Jack Trice making a lot of noise. They will run straight ahead, and it will go absolutely nowhere. Great defense by Reggie Hayward. Reggie was pumped yesterday. He was ready to play yesterday.
He said, they say he's the guy who has to make plays on this defense. He's the emotional leader. He is the guy who will knife down. You'll see him coming from your left-hand side, just knifing inside the tight end's block. Boom, no one there to get him. He makes the tackle, saves the first down.
Fourth down, and Nebraska is going to line up and go for it. Fourth down, about 3, because he didn't gain anything on the last play. Oh, boy, is this a big play for the Iowa State defense. Down the line, Crouch nowhere to go. Good defense. He's short of the first down, and the Iowa State defense is held. James Reed, number 52, one of the first people to make contact. And look at the defensive side. There's some happy folks out of Iowa State.
Against the option, penetration kills. That time, Iowa State got a defensive lineman up the field. Watch on the front of your screen. Coming through, that's Reggie again. When he gets up the field, he forces Crouch to turn up into the tacklers. Penetration will destroy the option. That was a great play.
Nice job of pursuit by the Iowa State defense. Look at all those red shirts in there. So Iowa State will take over 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Rosenfeld's in. Finally, 2 backs in the backfield for a change. Sage looking under some pressure. Pass is complete to Mike Banks, the tight end. Deion Booker brings him down, but Sage is on target thus far.
Mike Banks, his nickname is Manimal, half man, half animal. They say he's got a high motor, great hands, but Sage, I'm really impressed with Sage. He drops back there in the pocket. They say they'll move the pocket a lot to protect him, but he's just been sitting back there 3- and 5-step drops today and putting the ball right on target.
The offensive line is yet to give up a sack this year. Sage is yet to go down. He gets rid of it pretty quickly, though, Reggie. I think that has something to do with it. It's Moses in motion. They're going to run an option off this, but Sage is going to keep it and fall close to the 40-yard line, so he'll pick up about 4 yards on the play. Randy Stella with the tackle for Nebraska.
When Sage runs the option, you'll see the difference between him and Eric Crouch. Eric Crouch is kind of a natural runner. That's what he does. He runs the option very smoothly. Sage runs the option because that's what his team needs him to do. He's not a natural option quarterback, but he makes great decisions. As you see him go down the line, he's not quick, he's not flashy, but he'll pitch it when he's supposed to. He'll keep it when he's supposed to.
Sage 3 out of 4, 66 yards in the air thus far. 2nd down, 6. Moses in motion again. Rosenfeld's looking across the middle, in and out of the hands of Banks. Incomplete. Let's go back to the beginning of the football game and take a look at what Iowa State started to set the tempo of this game. Watch what takes place. Carl Gomez kicks off, but doesn't really kick off. He dribbles it forward, falls on it. Iowa State took over 1st and 10 in great field position, could not go anywhere, punted it deep into Nebraska territory, held, and it set the tempo for the game, Reggie.
Really did. Got everybody in the stadium psyched up, and now ISU is ahead 7 points over Nebraska. Nobody expects them to have a chance against Nebraska, but they get the momentum going for themselves early.
4 wide on 3rd and 6. Rosenfeld's looking complete to P.J. Moses, who made a great catch, but J.J. Moses rather, but he's just short of the first down. We're in Jack Trice Stadium, Ames, Iowa. Capacity is 43,000, but they're over 50 here on hand today. Chip Tarkenton along with Reggie Rivers. That score is correct. Iowa State is struck first on a 53-yard touchdown pass from Sage Rosenfels to Craig Campbell. Carl Gomez into punt from the 45-yard line on a 4th down and 1. Maybe shenanigans here?
I wouldn't rule anything out. I would expect at this point, they've got a 7-point lead. You punt it away. You don't get yourself into a hole.
He's got the wind behind him, and he unloads. Joe Anthony brings it in at the 3, and he has got room. Joe Walker, rather, he's got a lot of room. Saving tackle. We'll take a break. Nebraska will come back in great field position from their own 40-yard line. Back at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State ahead of the #1 team in the country, 7-0. Coach Frank Solich having a conversation with the officials. Nebraska's ready to go. 52-yard punt. Joe Walker returns at 37 yards to put Nebraska in outstanding field position. Their own 40-yard line.
Well, this is the real test. You know, if you're #1 in one poll, #2 in another poll, you're going to have teams that occasionally get up on you. Can you rebound, put things back together, march it down the field, put some points on the board, and be the team that you're supposed to be?
We're set to go now. Eric Crouch is the quarterback. Straight ahead with Dan Alexander. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chevy Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected. And the United States Army. Be all you can be. Second down, 6. Handoff once again to the workhorse thus far. That is Alexander. Tries the right side. Derek Walker is there. Pickup of a couple on the play. Walker, as we mentioned, a former quarterback. Very physical young man at the outside linebacker post. Big 3rd down for both sides, Reggie.
It really is. You know, Dan Alexander, the guy who just carried the pass a couple of times, he's a big guy. Looks like he should be a fullback, but he is the tailback within the I-back, as they call it. Carries his team. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the ball on this one, too.
3 wide outs in the I formation. They're going to come down the line. There's the pitch on the option play, and the Cyclone defense did everything they could to stop Alexander. Adam Rump, #9, coming up from his strong safety position. A lot of folks involved. Let's see where they mark it.
He might just have this just on pure strength.
He did.
He got hit and dragged and hit and dragged and just kept on stretching out until he got to that first down marker.
To the midfield stripe. Well, that was close.
It's rare that you see a big guy like that who is, I mean, he's not too fleet on his feet. You're not going to see the dramatic cutbacks, but he will make plays. He's got good speed. He's got good strength. He will fight through things. Just a very good running back.
1st and 10 from midfield for Nebraska. Straight ahead again. This time there's some room for Alexander. All the way down near the 20-yard line. Alexander about a 30-yard run. Atif Austin had to bring him down from behind. Look at it again. Right in the living room, Reg.
As he comes through, this is what, you know, he breaks a tackle there, but it starts with that Nebraska offensive line. They open up some big holes, and then their backs make people miss. They break tackles. So you look at the blocking, they're going to match up here on the right side of your screen. Matchup, everybody has a hat on him. Now he's got one man to break a tackle with. He does his job. He should be able to beat one as the running back, and then he's out into the open field.
Then it's a foot race. Take the option. Crouch drops back, trying to go to the end zone, and it is knocked down. Trying to go to Wistrom, the tight end, but it was knocked down by Jamarcus Powers. Nice play by Powers there. They looked like they were going to run the option. Crouch just dropped back and made the throw.
You look at the ISO here. This is a great play because everyone's going to jump up on the option, but Powers has great coverage here. He gets back, gets his head turned so that he looks like he's looking at the ball. I don't know if he ever saw the ball, and then gets his arms up to knock it down.
Alexander, 12 carries, 64 yards, as long as 28. So Carey would move the ball down here. 2nd down 10 from the 23. Alexander again off the right side. Not much there.
Now looking at these two teams and the way that their offenses work, you got the #1 rushing game in the nation against the #15 rushing game in the nation, and you'd expect that this could turn into kind of a track meet where, like an NBA All-Star game, all offense, no defense. But it might turn into a scoring contest. I think ISU can keep up.
Big 3rd and 9 again for Nebraska. Big 3rd and 9 for Iowa State with a little momentum. Will drop back. Looking across the middle, and it is too high. He was trying to go to Matt Davison. Too high, it's incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th down. Dustin Avey just popped him.
What a momentum builder. You watch Davison come across the field here, and he's open his zone, so he finds a place to sit down. The ball is just thrown up and behind, and Avey, man, what a lick he puts on him. That's the kind of hit that will get everybody on the sideline going. Just put his face right in Avey's chest.
Josh Brown into attempt a field goal. He is kicking into a very strong wind that's gusting up to 25 miles per hour. 38-yard field goal attempt. You can see the wind had an effect on that one. It is no good. So Nebraska has come up empty twice. Iowa State clinging to a 7-0 lead. We're coming back to Ames. Stay with us. 6 Pacific, that should be some kind of game. 2 of the best receivers in the National Football League.
2 of the biggest mouths in the National Football League, too, but they're fun to listen to, fun to watch.
2nd down 10. Should be the last play of the first quarter. Whistles, flags everywhere.
Looks like the left tackle got a little bit of an early start.
Marcel Howard thinking about to play a little quickly.
You know, that field goal that Nebraska missed, that's only the 2nd time that they have tried a field goal this year, and now they're 0 for 2 on the year. Their offense is so productive, they just don't have to do it much.
Iowa State, 5 yards. Should be in the first quarter. We got zeros everywhere. Guess they're going to say that the quarter did not end before it went to zeros. 4 wide, 1 back for Iowa State. Down the line. Sage going to have to keep it because he's got no one to pitch it to, and he falls across to the 22-yard line. Clint Finley, number 19, the Roverback, making the stop for Nebraska.
And I believe we may be having a clock problem here in this.
So Iowa State has won the first quarter. They wanted to just hang into the game, and the crowd here appreciates a great effort. Iowa State leading #1 Nebraska 7-0 after the end of the first quarter. Between Iowa State and Nebraska, and it is definitely north weather today. Coach Dan McCarney's team with a 7-0 lead and the football. Rosenfeld's looking, trying to go deep. That play worked for a touchdown. It's in and out of the hands of Craig Campbell. Fine defense there there by Clint Finley. Finley knocked it out of the hands. Keo Craver also back there.
You look at this ball as it comes in. It looks like a catchable ball. I think he should have had it. It didn't get knocked out. He just dropped it. You know, tough. He's got to be hitting his head at the sideline right now. Great protection for Sage. A wobbly but good throw. But just drops it.
This play they scored a touchdown on a little while ago. Gomez back in punt formation for Iowa State, and he's standing inside his own 10-yard line. Joe Walker, Bobby Newcomb back deep. Kicking against the wind. Takes a Nebraska bounce, and they will have outstanding field position at about midfield is where they're going to mark it. Stay with us. More college football coming up from Ames, Iowa. Quarterback Sage Rosenfels hanging up the phone. Had a talk with the folks upstairs and going to the hand warmer. He needs it today. It is definitely cool weather. Cold weather, if you'd like to call it that. 7-0. Iowa State. Nebraska with the ball on their own midfield stripe. Correll Buckhalter making his first appearance in the game in the I-back role. He's down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. This week's Aflac trivia question. Which former Cornhusker led Major League Baseball in hits? Yeah, in hits. Say that at the bottom. You're going to have the answer in just a few minutes. Give you a few minutes to think about that.
Hits with the bat or like hits in the base running? Hits
with the bat. Penalty flag is down on 2nd and 4.
Well, substitution violation. We didn't see what happened on that one. It could have been a wide receiver who didn't come in inside the numbers before getting lined up.
Found out. Head referee today. You see the rest of the Big Ten officials.
What Iowa State wants to be careful of today is they've had a couple of mistakes. They've given up a couple of opportunities that they've had. They want to get out in front of Nebraska if they can. If they just keep hanging in, they've got a shot. But eventually Nebraska's going to make some plays.
Quarterback draw with Crouch. This is what they were worried about. Look at the motor. He is turning it on down inside the 20, inside the 10-yard line. Eric Crouch before Dustin Avey had to bring him down, and Jamarcus Powers. But there you see the foot speed of Eric Crouch. He's like having another running back there. 39 yards on the play.
This is what makes this guy so dangerous. He's a threat to go all the way every time he touches the ball. He's explosive. This is kind of a weird play. They bring both the backs up in front of him. He really led up between the guard and tackle, then broke to the outside, and then it's just turn on the jets and see how far he can get before anyone catches him.
That's a design play, folks. They want him to take the snap and just run straight ahead. 1st and goal for Nebraska. 2 tight ends. Option down the left side. There's the pitch to Buckhalter. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska. They can score in a hurry.
This is exactly what Iowa State has to worry about. They've got a good team. They can move the ball. They can move against this defense, but they can't afford to make any mistakes. If they make any mistakes, they have the drop pass that could have been got them the first down. Certainly, maybe it could have turned into a touchdown. Now they end up punting the ball, and Nebraska turns into 7 points.
Josh Brown in to tip the PAT to knot it at 7. It's good. 3 plays, 50 yards, a minute and 18 seconds off the clock. And we've got a tie ball game in Ames, Iowa. And the Cornhuskers driving it down and putting it in. We're tied at 7. Maryland against Clemson, North Carolina State against North Carolina, number 15 Oregon against number 16 USC. J.J. Moses back deep, and this ball is going to go with the wind out of the end zone. So it'll be a 1st and 10 at their own 20 for Iowa State. Let's take another look at that touchdown, Reggie.
Hey, when you see this come up on your screen now, on the right-hand side, you're going to Iowa State just get pinned. Everybody gets pinned to the inside. Reggie Hayward, number 15, is pinned. He can't get off the block. You got the safety coming up. He gets blocked. You got a corner going to take out the quarterback. And then Josh, the wide receiver, makes a great block. So John Gibson, I'm sorry, makes a great block so the corner can't get there in time to make the tackle.
Boy, look at there, the rushing yards, 123 to 12. Iowa State now needs to make it happen again on offense. Rosenfeld's hands off on a draw play to Haywood, and Haywood has the wood laid to him. Kyle Vanden Bosch, big defensive end, 6'4", 260, a senior. You would not want to meet him in a dark alley. No gain on the play. In fact, he might have lost about the length of a football.
Unless you were there to talk to him about your taxes. He's got a 3.8 GPA in finance.
That would be the only reason. Second down. 10 to go. Rosenfeld's dropping back, looking across the middle, and that ball is complete. Chris Anthony, outstanding wide receiver, 6'3", 204. DeJuan
There's a flag on the play.
Making the tackle. Flag is down, and looks like it's going to be a holding call against Iowa State.
Let's look at the Dell game solutions. You know, number 2 is no penalties. Well, they've already made some mistakes with that. They want to prevent the preventable penalties. ISU has a shot if they play their best, but they can't afford any silly mistakes. They need to strike quickly, which they did early in the game.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
They want to score early, get some momentum for themselves, and then keep scoring. The first one was establish a ground attack. Well, they've only got 12 yards rushing so far. Running the ball is what they do. They need to get it into Ennis's hands. For Nebraska, they want to menace Ennis, make him work hard for every yard that he gets. He averages 153 yards a game. They don't want him to do that today.
And so far, those Dell Solutions are holding to form. Second down and 20. There you see the penalties. That one was a big one. Rosenfeld just dumps it across the middle. And look at here. J.J. Moses making it happen, and he has got the first down.
Well, stepped out of bounds at about the 23, it looks like.
They're marking it back there.
J.J. Moses is a playmaker. He is a little guy, 5'6", but he's quick, he is fast, he's strong, and he just beats Polk. Polk gives him a little shove there. You're going to watch him come from the right-hand side of your screen, and he's going to cross all the way across the ball. Boom, just a short stiff arm, push him to the ground, and then gets up, just barely steps out of bounds right there on the 22.
Well, that was close. Very close. Third down and about 8. Good call on second down and 20. Iowa State with the long hitters help that passing yards. Rosenfeld's plenty of time. Goes across, tried to hit Anthony. A lot of white shirts there to make it not happen. DeJuan Gross on hand along with Joe Walker. And the pass falls incomplete. And that will bring up a fourth down, and that means Carl Gomez will come into the game, kicking against the wind.
Good job by the Nebraska defense there. They're just kind of sitting back in zone, had man coverage underneath, and you're running through zones. You're going to get jacked up when you catch that ball.
Bobby Newcomb back in single safety. He had a 94-yard punt return last week. And back in '97, he had a 53-yard punt return against Iowa State. Not a good snap, but the kick is away. Newcomb picks it up, drops it, picks it back up, and look out, folks. Look at the speed here with Newcomb. He's going to get to the sideline and just does get knocked out of bounds, or he is off to the races. Adam Rupp just does get a hat on him to knock him out of bounds, and Nebraska is in outstanding field position at about the 19-yard line of Iowa State.
Bobby Newcomb is an explosive player, and he has a penchant for the dangerous play. Last week, he caught the ball at the 6-yard line, which you don't do as a punt returner. But if you take it the other way, 94 yards for a touchdown, that's okay. This one's dribbling on the ground, tries to pick it up, fumbles it a little bit, but still is able to get it up, split the defense, and make a good play down the field.
A lot of times when you do that, the defense hesitates just a little bit, and that's kind of what happened, and everybody ran by pursuit. 29 yards on the punt, 33 yards on the return, and Nebraska is setting up shop inside the 20-yard line of Iowa State. I formation. Buckhalter goes straight ahead. Not much success there. A lot of red shirts.
Iowa State bows up on this play. They just get a lot of people at the point of attack, and I think when Nebraska lines up in their regular eye and they do a regular eye handoff, Iowa State can match that. The difficulty comes when they start running that option. Nebraska has been great in the red zone all year long. I think it's a testament to the fact they've only had 2 field goal attempts and missed on both of those. When they get inside the red zone, they typically don't need to kick.
Second down 9. and whistles.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Keyshawn Johnson usually has a lot to say. This week he's got a lot to prove. And he's
doghouse a little bit, missed the first quarter. He's going to be ready to go this week, I think.
Penalty moves Nebraska back to the 23-yard lines with second down and 13. Crouch dropping back. They're going to run a screen, and it is not going to happen. Great play by James Reed as he got his hands up in the air and knocked the ball down. Nebraska was trying to set up the screen, and they had a lot of folks that looked like they were ready to run that screen pass.
Reed did a smart thing there. As he was coming in, he realized the screen was coming. Watch him stop and say, wait, what's going on? And then he's able to jump up and knock that ball down rather than continuing to run at the quarterback.
Nebraska 1 of 4 on third down conversions. They've got one here, 3rd and 13 to try to complete. Eric Crouch brings it to the line. Defense trying to get up. Matt Word doing the rise and shiner. Crouch across the middle. Davidson turned around, had the ball in his hands, but could not hang on to the football. Dustin Avey hit him. All right, let's do a little Aflac answer. Earlier, we asked you which former Cornhusker led Major League Baseball in hits this season. Got a guess, Rich? Don't look at the card.
I have no idea.
Darren Erstad had 240 hits. Field goal attempt. Josh Brown is in to try it 40 yards away. He's got the wind at his back. Good snap. The kick is up. It is good. Nebraska on top, 10-7. Big field goal. We'll take a break and come back to Ames, Iowa. 40-yard field goal, and Nebraska has taken a lead of 10-7, but there's more concern on the Iowa State sidelines.
Ennis the Menace,
yeah.
Haywood. He was out that last series. Wagner was in for him, and we've been watching him during the break working on his ribs. It looks like he might have gotten hit in the side, and we don't know if he's going to be back or not.
Chase Long kicks off and kicks it all the way through the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Iowa State will bring it out to their own 20-yard line. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Ford Outfitters. No boundaries. Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. And Burger King. Got the urge?
Yes, I do.
You've always got the urge. When you play in the NFL, you can eat all the time. Michael Wagner is in at tailback, the freshman. Haywood is on the sidelines. That will change the Iowa State offense. They go with 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts. They're going to try out Wagner right off the bat, and Wagner runs into the wrong side of the folks. He's head first into Jeremy Selecta.
He's one of the players they call the pound puppy. You know, look at what these two guys have done today. Rosenfels, you can see his numbers there, has passed for a lot more yards than Crouch, but obviously Crouch does a lot of damage on the ground.
Rosenfels 53 yards on that touchdown pass early in the game. He gave ISU the lead. Second down, about 9 to go. Backside pressure. That is the first sack of the year. Kyle Vanden Bosch makes it for Nebraska. That is the first sack given up by the Iowa State offensive line, and there was no question that Kyle had it coming.
He is coming from the bottom part of your screen right here, just completely unblocked. Hits Sage. That is the first sack of the year, and they've been doing such a good job of getting rid of the ball, protecting him, moving the pocket around. Mostly today, they've just been sitting back in a 5-step drop and saying, Nebraska, we don't think you can get to us. Well, that time they did.
Third down, 16 yards to go for Iowa State, and all of a sudden, they're in a lot of these long down situations. Pass is way high and incomplete. Let's go to New York, and our Terry Gannon is in New York with an update. Terry?
Chip, thank you. The Burger King update.
Glad to have you with us. Carl Gomez back in punt formation for Iowa State. Look at that, man. A big upset. Woo. Gomez kicking it away. Oh, the ball hits in the hands and then bounces loose, and it finally comes back. Boy, Nebraska's just can't believe that. Bobby Newcomb had it in his hands, dropped it out, it got kicked the other way, and Newcomb finally comes back up with it.
Tough break for Nebraska, and Newcomb's pretty short-handed back there, fielding the punts ordinarily, but he just looked like he may have taken his eyes off this one at the last second. Yeah, he sure does. He looks down at the guy who's coming. He gets a break, though, because the Iowa State defender knocks it back where he can go back and try to pick it up again.
Yeah, Ryan Sloth had hit off Ryan back in. They were doing ping pong with a football. So Nebraska will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 36 with the 3-point lead. And you know what? Iowa State just keeps hanging around in this thing. Crouch on the option. Absolutely nowhere to go. Outstanding defense by Chris Whitaker from the linebacker position.
Knifing through again. And Iowa State, as you said, hanging on in this one, proving to themselves with every play that they can play with Nebraska. He comes knifing through. You get a couple of hats on Crouch, and Crouch is not going to make two people miss when they're that close and that big.
Well, we mentioned penetration early in the game, and that's exactly what Iowa State is doing some of the time, not all of the time, but they are causing some disruption. Good look at Whitaker there.
It really is, and I think that's what they have to do. They can't try to slow play the quarterback and think, well, we'll just try to get one guy on the pitch and one guy on the quarterback. They've got to disrupt the play before it can get going.
2nd and 12, Crouch trying to throw it. It's intercepted, picked off. There's nothing but green grass in front of Jamarcus Powers. Touchdown, Powers.
What a play. Oh, my goodness. Jamarcus Powers just read that thing, broke right underneath it, gives a huge boost to ISU. Oh, my goodness.
Crouch was trying to hit Davidson on an out route, but Powers was there and gone the other way. 40 yards on the interception return. Iowa State has regained the lead.
A lot of people were wondering how Iowa State could be 4-0. 4 is the number of games they won last year. Now they start the year with 4 consecutive wins. Well, I think they're proving to a lot of people right now that they are game enough to hang with Nebraska, the best team in the nation, and they're 4-0 because they're a 4-0 team.
Stop the snapper. Mike McKnight in to attempt the extra point. It is good. Iowa State strikes with another big play. They're up 14-10 as we're almost midway through the 2nd quarter. Jack Trice Stadium. Already a few upsets on this college football Saturday. Is this another one in the making, Reggie?
Look at the replay here. You got the pass from Crouch. It's going to be a little bit behind Davison. And Jamarcus Powers just does a great job of reading it, cutting in, catching the ball with his hands. You know, it's hard for defenders sometimes to make that transition from thinking I'm covering to now I'm the receiver. He does it smooth as butter, and now they're in the end zone again.
It's a short kick against the wind, and about all Nebraska can do is just grab hold of it and hang on and bring it down. There's a good look at Powers. For the first time on network television, a new drama premieres without commercials.
Never going to watch that show. I want to see some commercials, man.
Yeah, you will. All right, Eric Crouch now. This team down by 4. Nebraska 1st and 10 at their own 32. They'll run that option look, which is really a fake, and just a straight keep there by Crouch, and he's run out of bounds by Atif Austin after picking up a couple of yards.
Nebraska has the pressure on them that, hey, they're number 1 in the coaches poll. They're number 2 in the AP poll. They're not just supposed to beat ISU. They are supposed to come in here and win by a lot. So now they're down by 4 points, and I think that they're feeling the pressure.
Frank Solich calling offensive plays, which has been the situation at Iowa for a long time. Yards per rush there. Look at that. Well, that doesn't tell the true story of the game thus far, does it?
It does not.
So you got to think for Iowa State, the longer they hang around in this thing, the better chance that they've got of winning if they can just stay in it. If you're Nebraska, you just need to keep putting points on the board. Option, Crouch will pitch it. Alexander back in the game. Nice tackle by Austin, but Austin may be hurt on the play.
And that was a perfect slow play by Austin. He played that thing perfectly. Hopefully, he's going to be okay. There looks like his shoulder is a little bit banged up. But let's look at this. You're going on the right-hand side of your screen. As they come down the line, Austin, number 21, he just keeps shuffling, and then after the pitch, make the tackle. So he was in position that if the quarterback had kept it, he could have turned inside to make that tackle. When the pitch goes out, he can go out and get that.
Well, that's a 180-pound cornerback working on a 245-pound running back, better known as an I-back. Next Saturday, ABC has a field under his own power. 3rd down and about 3 to go. But he is a little ginger with that right. Looks like that left shoulder is a little ginger. Crowd here coming up. This is a big 3rd down. Momentum a key.
This is the kind of situation they love to run that option and just tell the quarterback, keep it. Crouch is the man. They want his hands on the ball.
Crouch fakes, drops back looking. He's got a man wide open. That is Tracy Wistrom. Makes the haul, and he's all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Breon Ansley had to bring him down, but boy, Wistrom was wide open. Nice pitch, nice catch. Big play by Nebraska.
Another big play right when they need it. They know that defense is expecting the option. They come out with play-action option. Wistrom goes down the middle. He is wide open. Coming from the backside, from the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to watch him come off the... Oh, I'm sorry. He was on the left-hand side of your screen. He kind of works his way the outside like he's going to block, and then just straight up the field.
52 yards on the play. Nebraska inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. A lot of weapons on this Nebraska offense. They'll go straight ahead with a fullback, Willie Miller. 245-pound senior. They will run the fullback maybe 5 times a game if he's lucky.
You know, Iowa State's got a big test right here. They have already forced Nebraska to try 2 field goals. Nebraska's only kicked 1 field goal all year coming into this game. Got stopped in the red zone twice, had to kick it twice. Can they hold them here and make them attempt another field goal? 2nd down, goal to go. Ball just inside the 9-yard line. Dan McCarney doing everything he can to keep his team going. This is his 3rd season at Iowa State. He said the first years here were not pretty. It was men against boys. It's not that case now. Crouch, looking, got a man open, goes a little long, and it's incomplete. We talked to Coach Dan McCarney about the keys to his defense stopping this Nebraska offense.
It'll be really important that we swarm the football. They're so powerful. They come at you in so many ways. They can score points in bunches. We know they're going to move the football, but we've got to try and do all that we can to try and stop them from getting the big plays and getting them fast.
Big play time now. It's 3rd down and goal to go. And a timeout has been taken. Some big plays, though, for Nebraska. Good look at McCarney.
There have been plenty of big plays in this one on the ISU side, too. You know, we look at those numbers and we say, man, how is it that ISU is staying in this game when they're not doing what their strength is, which is running the ball? They are finding a way to make big plays in the air, and that's what's got them at 14-10.
The Buccaneers had high hopes for this year, but with Keyshawn Johnson missing from the offensive scheme, they've suffered 2 consecutive.
It's just exciting. He's fast. He's a lot like Crouch, Eric Crouch. The way he runs around out there, the kind of movement that he has, the explosion. The fun player.
It's just fun to watch the Vikings play anytime, especially the old Viking. You remember the big old Viking that showed up all the time at the games?
Yeah.
I remember him from a long time ago.
Wasn't that your uncle who got dressed up like that?
That was him. Nebraska took the timeout. They're 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and goal to go here, and they're looking for a big play. They do not want to attempt another field goal.
But what a victory this would be for ISU if they could hold them here and make them kick another field goal.
They'll go with 3 wide. Crouch is going to run the option down the line. You know what? The red shirts are everywhere. Nowhere for him to go. Nigel Tharp grabs him by the legs and hauls him down. And that'll set up a 4th down, and don't be surprised to see the field goal unit.
You know, Crouch is best described as an if-necessary quarterback. He's running that ball. He's going to keep it, pitch it if necessary. Well, that time it was necessary, but, you know, he had it in his mind that he was going to try to run that thing to get to the end zone.
29-yard field goal attempt, Josh Brown.
Josh is actually 1 for 2 today. Missed the first one, made the second one.
With the wind behind him, He splits the uprights. It's 14-13, but like you said, big ego boost for the Iowa State defense, but important for Nebraska because they did put points on the board.
Nebraska put points on the board, but you can look at the two sidelines and you can see everybody on the Iowa State sideline. They're excited. Hey, we held them to a field goal. Everyone on the Nebraska sideline is like, oh, we got held to a field goal. Nebraska is a team that's scoring more than 40 points a game. They are dominating teams. To be held to 13 right now and have to kick 2 field goals, that's demoralizing.
Last year's game was not close by a point total, but Sage Rosenfeld, the quarterback, told us, you know what, it was a lot closer than you may have thought.
Last year, we didn't think it was much of a mismatch. We just didn't play well against them. Guys didn't step up when they needed to. And we think we have better players this season. We think we've learned from situations like that last year. Now we just need to step up our game, play well, and if we go out there and execute and do the things we can do, we've done in the first 4 games, we can play right with them right down to the wire.
And it's shaping up to be a down to the wire. 7 plays, 61 yards, 2:37. The time of the drive for Nebraska to put points on the board. In the pass from Crouch to Wistrom of 52 yards is the longest completion of the year thus far. Brown with a 29-yard field goal. Chase Long set to kick off for Nebraska. J.J. Moses is deep, but if he's been kicking it like he had been, and he did not, he bounces this one. Moses pointing where he wants to go. The spin move. Look at that move. To the 22. A lot of work to only get to the 22-yard line.
But he's an exciting player, and JJ is a playmaker for this team. He just has a way of making people miss. You see that on that one. He doesn't go very far, but he makes a couple of guys miss. But that's exactly the kind of excitement that he brings to the ball every time he's got it in his hands, and he's always a threat to break.
Michael Wagner is still in at the tailback position for Iowa State. Ennis Haywood has missed the last 3 series. Looks like it's a rib problem. 1st and 10. Little option out of Iowa State. They're going to pitch back to Wagner. Wagner with nowhere to go. There is Vanden Bosch again. Good gracious, he's all over the field.
Vanden Bosch speed kills. He knows what the option looks like, and he plays the quarterback, makes him pitch it, and then still has enough speed to run out and make the tackle on the running back. Watch him, number 83. He just slow play, and now the pitch is made. Sprint out, make the tackle.
Boy, he's something else. We mentioned in the Dell Game Solutions about the defense for Nebraska needed to execute assignments. That is absolutely perfect. The loss of 3 yards on the play. 2nd down, 13 to go. Rosenfels looking again, and he's got Campbell again. That play has worked all day long, and he completes that one for a 1st down. DeJuan Gross had to bring him down, but that little inside post has worked all day long.
The skinny post is working for them. It starts with the running back. Watch number 20 come across, pick up this blitz so that Rosenfeld can just sit back there, deliver this ball on a strike, and it's just a skinny post. He gets inside the cornerback. Perfect strike, perfect catch.
32 yards on the play. Iowa State in Nebraska territory. Handoff is to Wagner. Wagner showing a little move there. He almost broke that thing.
There's a flag on the play.
There's a flag down on the play, and it's going to be a holding call against Iowa State. It's the one thing Iowa State did not want to do today. Carney pleading his case. That will not do him much good right now.
But you got to plead the case anyway.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Where that hurts is instead of 2nd down and 5, you're back to 1st and 20.
1st and 20. You know what Rosenfeld did on that play after he handed off to the back coming across? He rolled out to the left. And what they do is he always rolls out so they can test the perimeter of that defense. If they see that defense isn't staying home, the next time he'll fake the handoff and he will be on a keeper around the left side.
Iowa State, the coaches told us they just wanted to play it a quarter at a time. They are doing that and staying in it. Little quarterback draw to Rosenfels, and he is going to fall forward to the 48-yard line.
Rosenfels is tripped up by Chris Kelsey.
Thomas Kelsey making the stop for Nebraska. Valvoline halftime coming up. Highlights of some great games of the Terrys, Terry Gannon and Terry Bowden. You do not want to miss that. There's been some big upsets in college football today. Purdue over Michigan, Oklahoma throttling Texas. What about that Florida State-Miami contest? Rosenfeld's looking across the middle, and look at J.J. Moses sky into the air with a 5.5 body and hauls it home inside the 30-yard line. Clint Finley making the stop for Nebraska, but Rosenfeld just throws it, and I cannot believe how small that man is and how high he can jump.
Moses looked like he was at least 5'7" on this one. You know, it's again, they have the blitz coming, the back picks it up. Rosenfeld's just nice delivery, delivers this pass high. JJ goes up and gets it. This is just throwing and catching. This is textbook passing offense here.
23 yards on the play. 1st and 10 inside the 30. They hand off to Wagner in the tailback spot, and he plunges forward. And we haven't said this man's name much all day long, but Carlos Pope making a tackle, and Carlos is not as active, probably because he's still having some problems with that ankle. He has struggled since last week.
An ugly injury last week. A guy came down kind of on the back of his leg, sprained his ankle. He's been hobbled all week, but you know, he is the leader of that defense. He wasn't going to miss this game, so he's out there.
2nd down, 6 yards to go. Iowa State is not thinking field goal either. They're thinking of getting into the end zone. Nebraska showing blitz, and they bring it. And they almost spring the draw play with Wagner, but they do not. Jeremy Schlechter, number 56.
Iowa State had the perfect play called for that defense. When you get all those blitzers up there on the line of scrimmage and they're all coming across the plate, you want to have a handoff where a guy can bust it through, and once he gets through, there's no one left to tackle him, but he gets caught by a shoestring to avoid the big play.
He could have gone a long way if Schlechter didn't get a paw out there to break him down. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Iowa State 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions today, but they had a touchdown on a 3rd down play. Rosenfeld. That looked like a route was busted off or changed there at the end, and Rosenfeld's pass falls incomplete, so that'll bring on a 4th down. He was trying to hit Lane Danielson, number 82, who checked in at the wide receiver post.
Now they have a dilemma. They haven't been kicking very consistently this year. So you can't ever say that a field goal from this distance is a sure thing. This would be a 42-yard attempt.
They brought Mike McKnight into the game. You see the wind. He's kicking into that wind. It is a stiff wind, gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Not to mention the fact that it's only 40 degrees today, folks, so the ball is cold and hard, but he's going to take a stab at it anyway from 42 yards. No, he's not. They're going to run an option play or fake it anyway, and it will not go anywhere. Casey Baldwin tried to run an option, and Casey was not able to complete the yardage. A freshman who was in as the holder didn't go anywhere.
I am impressed by the courage of the ISU coaching staff, but I don't think that play is going to work, only because the Nebraska team knows about the problems that they've had with their kicker, the inconsistency. They know the 42-yard kick into the wind, probably not. They're probably sitting there thinking, hey, watch out for the fake here. They might have been better off just to go up and line up and run something.
You know, I think what happened is on 3rd down, they were hoping to get a short pass, and whether they completed it for a bigger gain, that would have been great. But if they would have gotten closer to that 1st down marker, then they could have run on 4th down. So Nebraska will take over at their own 26-yard line with 1:18 to go. That's plenty of time for this bunch. Crouch dropping back, looking deep. He's got Newcomb. It's complete. And Newcomb is into Iowa State territory. Bobby Newcomb making an outstanding catch as he turned around. Breon Ansley with the tackle for Iowa State.
The difference between a good receiver and a great receiver is his ability to adjust to the ball. He's running down the ball short and behind. He makes the adjustment, makes the catch. Bobby Newcomb is a playmaker.
Iowa State now got to bow their backs. Nebraska picks up a 27 yards in 6 seconds. And they're in Iowa State territory at the 46. Crouch Crouch again, dropping back out. Play action. Goes across the middle, trying to hit Davison. It was too high, and it goes way incomplete.
I
Second
like
down.
that ISU has kind of forced Nebraska into doing what they're not used to doing. You would expect Nebraska to just be out there running the ball, even with a little bit of time left.
Tomorrow, the PGA Tour's fall finish is in full swing. ABC
Be playing golf this weekend, but it's supposed to get back up to 70 end of the week.
They run the draw play with Buckhalter. Buckhalter bucks forward, but does not go far. Picks up a couple. We'll give him to the 44, and Nebraska's going to take a timeout with 57 ticks remaining in the first half. I still am impressed with the way Iowa State has played this game. I think Nebraska might be a little surprised right now.
I think so, too. We just heard that Ennis Haywood is getting his ribs x-rayed. He may not be back in the game today. He certainly took a hit, and hopefully those x-rays will be negative.
Well, look at Buckhalter here on the sideline. Looks like he's in some pain. Tell you what, there is some pad popping going on the field.
This is, you know, Iowa State, they come into this game, they're 4-0 against Nebraska 4-0. They're the underdogs, 15-point underdogs going into this thing. No one thinks they can hang. The 4 games have been a fluke. Iowa State has proven that it was not a fluke. They have dictated the pace of this game a little bit. They have made big plays when they needed to. They have stopped Nebraska's vaunted offense a couple of times in the red zone. They've pushed Nebraska into passing the ball maybe a little bit more than they intended to. Nebraska is notoriously just a running team, and they're just hanging in with this thing, carrying a 1-point lead.
Nebraska just with 1 timeout left. It's a 3rd down and 7 to go. They're going with the win here in the second quarter. ISU out in front, 14-13. 14-13 as we are at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State leading it over number 1 Nebraska, 14-13. Chip Tarkenton along with Reggie Rivers on a big 3rd and 7. Eric Crouch will keep it, and he will get the first down as he moves it inside close to the 30-yard line. Big Reggie Hayward had to come from his end post to make the stop, and there's the speed of Eric Crouch again.
And the decisiveness. Once he makes up his mind about what he's going to do, he hits it. It's not timid. He's not a typical quarterback back there running. You see him drop back here, get the little play fake, drops back. As soon as the pocket starts to break down, he's outside, then tuck it and run. He's straight up the field.
39 seconds to go in the first half. Crouch pumps and then throws it away.
Dangerous play there.
He almost didn't throw it far enough.
They tried to get the out and up, but ISU's defense didn't bite on the out, and the safety was coming over the top to cover the up. Nebraska's lucky they didn't walk away with a bad play there.
Trying to hit Tracy Wistrom again to tie it in. Dustin Avey almost close enough to make an interception. 2nd down.
You know, Nebraska's down by 1 point. They are number 1 in one poll, number 2 in another poll. I mean, they are a great football team. So you don't want to just hang around with them all game, because they're going to make their big plays and they're going to run away with this thing. But I'm just so impressed with Iowa State and the way that they played this first half.
High formation. Crouch play fakes it again. Looking, the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage and it falls incomplete. It looks like Matt Word got his big paws on that one and was able to deflect it.
You always tell defensive linemen and linebackers, rush, 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 but then get your hands up in the air. Well, sometimes they get lazy about doing it because most of the time they put their hands up and nothing pays off. This time gets his hand up and is right in the lane to knock the ball down.
Matt had the word there. 3rd and 10. Nebraska needs to pick up some yardage to have a chance to kick a field goal with the win, because this will be a long kick from here. 3 wides for Eric Crouch. He drops back. They run one of those quick screens, but the pass falls incomplete. But Iowa State had it covered. He was trying to hit Bobby Newcomb, and it falls incomplete.
And credit the pressure right up the gut. They got somebody coming in right up the gut. I think it was number 44 on ISU's defense. Coming right up the gut, forces Crouch to throw it a little bit before he's ready. He's off balance. That's Ryan Harklau. Throwing it a little bit off balance, incompletion, and now they force them to try the long field goal.
And this will be a long one. Josh Brown has stepped in. This is a 48-yard attempt from Brown with 24 seconds to go. Brown has hit 2 and missed 1 today. Wind behind him. He is off to the left. No good.
Who would think that Iowa State would keep Nebraska out of the end zone. Nebraska comes into this game, I cannot say it enough, they kicked 1 field goal all year. Now you look at the snap, the handle gets bobbled a little bit. The ball, it just keeps hooking to the left. But who would think that they would now kick 3 field goals in this game after coming in only kicking 1? We're 14 of 16 in the red zone, and now ISU has stopped them 3 consecutive times and forced them to kick a field goal, or try a field goal.
Chase Long had some trouble getting that ball down the ground to kick. 1st and 10 from the 31 with 19 ticks to go. They're going to run the reverse with Moses. Moses knocked out of bounds up across the 40-yard line.
They ran that same play, first play from scrimmage against Iowa. Moses took it for a touchdown. And that's a play that will test the perimeter of the defense. You got to stay at home on the backside because you know that Iowa State is going to bring some trick plays.
2nd down and just about the length of the football to go for a 1st down. Look at this. The average score since 92, the upset in 1992 has been 52-13.
I think Nebraska's still been upset about that upset in 92. They've been taking it out on the Cyclones ever since.
Well, they really have. Trips to the wide side of the field this time. Rosenfels is going to go to the short side. He's got Anthony, and it's complete. 1st down. Chris Anthony, 6'3", 204 pounds, 9 seconds to go. Against the wind. Reggie, you might get a couple more passes in, maybe. You've still got timeout, so you can throw it across the middle, but you've got to do it in a hurry with 9 ticks to go.
9 ticks to go. You pretty much have to throw it to the sideline. You know, I like that Anthony kid. He was a walk-on when he first came here, and he's emerged into a sure-handed starter, make some plays. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go either to him or maybe Moses is going to be the guy.
15 yards on the play into Nebraska territory at the 45. Pass will have to be quick. He's looking for Anthony again, going to Anthony. It is ruled as a catch. 3 seconds to go in the half. They take a timeout. Rosenfels calls a timeout. Anthony again making a nice catch. This would be a long, long kick, though, against the wind.
With 3 seconds left, why not?
We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll see what Iowa State decides to do. They're up by a point. Take a look at our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter halftime statistics. And Reggie, I think some numbers will jump out at folks pretty quickly.
They will. I think the biggest surprise here is that Iowa State has not run the ball. They've got 20 yards rushing there. Ennis Haywood, their star tailback, is out. They're getting x-rays on his ribs, but they've managed to get it done in the air. Rosenfeld throwing for 166 yards, and their defense is really what's keeping them in this game, slowing down the Nebraska attack, stopping Nebraska in the red zone, and just keeping them in this game. They're up by 1 point coming out of the half.
Talked about today being family weekend. Today's attendance, 50,074. That is the 2nd largest crowd ever here at Jack Trice Stadium. You think these folks weren't excited about it? Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Iowa State struck first. Sage Rosenfels goes to Craig Campbell. 53 yards, 7-0 in favor of ISU. Back came Nebraska. Corral Buckhalter tied it with a 10-yard option play run. And then the big play of the first half, Jamarcus Powers with the 40-yard interception return. That made it 14-10. A late field goal made it 14-13. That's where we start the second half. The last time Nebraska trailed at halftime, it was 9-0 against Kansas back in October the 30th, 1999. They wound up winning that game 24-17. Nebraska's set to kick off. Chase Long with the win. He kicks it in and through the end zone. So that's where Iowa State will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Sage Rosenfels will come out at quarterback to run the offense. There's a good look at Sage. He had a good first half, made some good throws. And you know what? We've talked about this. This seems like it's an upset special Saturday. And Iowa State has done exactly what they needed to do, Reggie, to try to pull off the big upset against #1 Nebraska.
With the exception of the running game, haven't had Ennis. But you look at what he's done with the pass. They're traditionally a 50-50 team. Now they have passing the ball. See them moving it all over the field, gotten it basically in every zone they've completed passes.
Good news for Iowa State. Ennis Haywood has started the second half in at running back. They tried the option play, and look at this. Moses is in deep trouble and nowhere to go. Rosenfels really pitched it before Moses could get to it. The ball was on the ground. Moses managed to get a hold of it, but a loss of about 12 yards on the first play. That's not the way to start the second half for ISU. Nebraska, pretty happy with the way that thing started.
The trouble with trick plays is that typically in practice you don't get a whole lot of reps on them, and that is definitely a timing play. Moses has to come back around for the reverse. He's got to be in the right position for the pitch. It just goes awry for them there. They're lucky that they recover that one.
2nd down and 22. Not what Iowa State wanted to start the second half. Moses has it, and he has some room. Up close to the 19-yard line before he's brought down from behind by Joe Walker, so he gets a little bit of it back. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about a little over 10 yards to go.
And that's a smart play. When you got the 2nd down and 22, you start thinking, well, we've got to have a play to get 22 yards. You really don't. Get half of it. Now you got a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 situation, and you've got plays in your playbook that can get you 10 yards.
Well, the important thing, too, is they just needed some breathing room in case they don't pick up the 1st down so they can kick it. Moses coming into your picture in motion. Rosenfels, a little blitz on, a little late blitz by Nebraska. He's looking deep. Got Anthony there, and it will go off the helmet of the defender. Bounced right off DeJuan Gross's helmet.
And I think that was a good non-call by the officials. I thought it could have been offensive pass interference for the push-off. You know, you watch it, looks like it's a little push right there, and then it could have been defensive pass interference right there, but since they both got their pushes in, good non-call.
Right off the headgear. You know what? He'll field that later tonight. That's right off the noggin.
That's why they've got those helmets, to protect against exactly that thing.
Carl Gomez into punt on 4th and 11. Newcomb is back deep for Nebraska. Remember, he broke one here back in 1997, Bobby Newcomb. Nebraska moving, folks, trying to decide whether they're going to rush the kick. Gomez gets it away against the wind. Newcomb picks it up. He's got a little room on the left side. He gets a block. Did not get the block, but he does move it forward to the 39-yard line, and Nebraska will have outstanding field position. The highly anticipated Gina Davis show premieres. I don't think the feeling was mutual, though.
I'm pretty sure.
31-yard punt, 11 yards on the return. Eric Crouch bringing Nebraska out. They will go straight ahead with Miller. Willie Miller plunges forward down inside the 30-yard line.
Shows you how much respect Iowa State has for Eric Crouch. When he made that handoff, he kind of wheeled back around to the left-hand side. There were 4 defenders on that side of the ball that all stopped for just a second thinking that he had the ball, and that was enough room for the fullback to get up through the middle.
Well, it's like a guard or a tackle running. Willie Miller, 6'1", 245. Said he came to Nebraska, didn't like to block. Now he loves to block. He'll run the option this time. Crouch is going to keep it. Look at the speed. Cuts inside the 10, and he just stumbles down to the 5-yard line. Jamarcus Powers kind of just tripped him up. But the Nebraska offense, 2 quick plays, and all of a sudden they're set to strike.
And this is what Nebraska does so well. You look at the end zone view of this. He comes down the line. Iowa State is only going to have one guy who gets into play, and he gets stuck in the middle. Nobody to take Crouch. You have to get a guy coming through the alley so that someone can go to the pitch and someone can stay on the quarterback. Stuck out there with nobody on him.
22 yards on the carry by Eric Crouch. Handoff is
with Alexander. Alexander pushes the pile forward to about the 2-yard line.
Well, Nebraska is showing why they are the type of team that they are and why they're the type of tradition of winning that they've always had. They go into halftime. They've got to be a little bit disappointed by their performance, but they come right back out and stop them with their defense. Now they're driving with their offense. Lowers his shoulder. He is a big, powerful guy. Nearly into the end zone.
Second down, goal to go. Quarterback sneak will not get into the end zone. Crouch picks up maybe 1 to the 1.
But there's a statement on how much confidence Nebraska has in their offensive line. They're running a quarterback sneak from about the 2-yard line, figuring, hey, we'll just drive them back into the end zone. Well, Iowa State had a little bit something different to say about that.
Tried to go off the right side and behind the center, Dominic Raiola and also Russ Hochstein. Big guys up front. You see the numbers on offense.
They've been productive. They just haven't scored points.
Third down and goal. 3 backs in line formation. Up and over the top goes Burkhalter. He is into the end zone. Buckhalter, touchdown. Correll Buckhalter, his second of the day. This was a dive over the topper.
Now the test comes for Iowa State. Nebraska comes out. They're strong on defense. They're strong on offense. They look like themselves. Now it looks like they may be going for 2 on this one. Down by 5 or up by 5 points. The numbers suggest that you should go for 2.
5 plays, 39 yards, a minute 56 off the clock. Once again, a quick strike. Buckhalter gets into the end zone. They will indeed go for 2. There's that 3-man eye, 2 fullbacks. Crouch throws. It is caught and it is good. Aaron Galladay in the zone. Gets the 2-point, and it's 21-14. A big 2-point conversion by Nebraska. The Cornhuskers have retaken the lead. They're up by a touchdown with 11:13 to go in the third quarter. Nebraska has retaken the lead, 21-14. Early in the third quarter. Chase Long set to kick off for Nebraska. J.J. Moses, Jermaine Billups back deep. They will not get a chance. That is through the end line. Let's take a look at that 2-point conversion again. Aaron Galladay, does he catch it? And is he in the end zone, Reg?
Well, they're calling it a catch. It looks like it might have hit the ground. The ball comes in. Now it hits his body here. Now it's sliding down. Boom, knees down. That's a catch. But it looks like the ball hit the ground and then kind of came back up into his arms.
Well, the linesman is right on that one.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
It's a tough call. Bounce off his leg. Hey, Galladay doesn't care. They put up 2 on the board.
He's got a touchdown. That's all that matters.
Fumble a snap. It's Haywood trying to go somewhere, but nowhere to go.
So the x-rays came back negative on his ribs. He's got a slight bruise. He's back, and they need him. What they did, where's the stat on their yards in the first half?
Second and 10 from the 20.
They averaged half a yard per carry in the first half, 16 carries for 8 yards. That's what they do well. That's what they do best, run the ball. Without Ennis, they were not able to do it. It's surprising that they could stay in with Nebraska without having the most powerful weapon on offense.
Flags go down before the snap is complete. Reggie, how tough is it to play with a rib problem, bruised or whatever?
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It can be tough because every time you breathe and you take a deep breath, those moving those ribs, and it can hurt. It just depends. They may have given him a shot, you know, something to deaden the pain locally. I mean, nothing bad, but just give him a little something to deaden the pain. If they look at it and they say, well, you're not going to hurt yourself anymore by being out there playing.
Well, Iowa State once again puts themselves in a long situation. Second down, 15. Rosenfeld's going deep, and it is too long. Trying to hit Campbell again. He's had a lot of success hitting Campbell today, but that one falls incomplete. Earlier we talked with Coach Dan McCarney about the offensive keys for his Cyclones to defeat Nebraska today.
got to hold on the football. We've been much improved this year that way. We hope to keep our balance and maintain the balance we've had through the early part of the season, and we've got to really establish a good running game to have a chance to win that time of possession.
Well, they haven't done that in the first half, but they have an opportunity now to try to do it. But their defense has really kept them in this game and given them a chance.
3rd and 15. Rosenfeld's flush forward from the pocket, complete to J.J. Moses. J.J. is across the 35. He's got a first down. Deion Booker with the stop. That is a big boost for the Iowa State offense, which had begun to sputter just a little bit, Rich. They needed something positive to happen.
Rosenfeld is showing some poise here. J.J. Moses, the guy, he is a big play guy, 5'6". Again, that's an exaggeration. He's really 5'5", but he makes big plays. His father, Jerry, played here for the Cyclones back in 72, 73.
21 yards on the play. Big first down. Rosenfeld drops back again. They're going out in the flats to Haywood. Haywood has made the reception, and he's up to the 41, 42-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds, and that's a good call on first down.
They've been a 50-50 team, averaging about 227 yards running the ball, about 220 yards passing the ball, has Iowa State. This game, without their running game, Rosenfeld has really had to step up and say, I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be a traditional drop-back quarterback, and I'm going to throw this ball. And I've been impressed that they've been able to switch things up, get the ball moved mostly in the air, and keep up with Nebraska.
2nd down and 4. A lot of folks think that little dump pass out in the flat now, they count that as a run. A lot of schools have started doing that. Handoff straight ahead to Haywood. Haywood is going to cross the 45. He's close to the first down marker to wait and see where they spot it. The Buccaneers had high hopes for this year, but with Keyshawn Johnson missing from this
performance on the field, hopefully he'll have a big game because he's fun to watch when he gets going.
You see this change come out. My goodness, how much closer can you get than that? Mercy.
5-yard gain on the play.
3rd and millimeters.
From the 45.
Now, you talk about Keyshawn Johnson talking. When you're on his team, you love that.
That's right.
He gets the other team going. He's funny to listen to. When you're on the other team, you get annoyed. You're like, man, why don't you shut up?
He is fun. Iowa State 2 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. That'll be a great game on Monday night. I'll tell you what, the Monday night crew is fun to watch. Make sure you tune in. Make plans to do so. Quarterback sneaking. I don't know. Rosenfeld's trying to push the pile forward, and he's a big young man surging that way, 6'4", 221, but I'm not sure he's there.
It depends on which referee gets the spot. The one closest to us was about half a foot farther down the field to the right than the one on the far side of the field. The one on the far side of the field, I think, is good. The one on this side, I think, wouldn't get it.
It also depends on a right foot or a left foot.
That's true. And they went with this side of the field.
Let's take a look back to the last time that Iowa State pulled the upset against Nebraska. It was November the 14th, 1992. Senior quarterback Marv Seiler playing as a senior. The reason they put him in is because he was a senior. He'd only had 31 career yards. This 78-yard run would set up a touchdown as Iowa State would win it 19-10. How about that? Back in 1992, Nebraska was ranked number 7 at that time. First down for Iowa State. The pile moved far enough, so the Cyclones continue the march. Banks in motion. Haywood back in the lineup and is making his presence known. Nice move there as he cuts back. He's into Nebraska territory, and there's another first down for Iowa State doing what they need to do. Tony Watchorn with the tackle.
Great patience by Ennis Haywood. Takes it to the front side. There's nothing there. He rolls it back behind. Everybody gets a nice gain, and this is what they need. They need to get their running game going. You look at the replay. He starts on the right. Boom. Cuts it back, cuts it back, cuts it back. Now he turns it up the field, goes for about 12 yards. They need him to get going this half.
15 to be exact, his longest of the day, Reggie. So that's what they need. Iowa State does. Haywood again. Runs right into the middle of the Nebraska defense. But the one thing he does and does well, he usually is falling forward and gaining yards when he goes down. He picked up 3 on that carry.
He's what you call a downhill runner. You know, he's not a guy who's going to dance around a whole lot, try to break it to the outside. He finds a hole, he gets downhill into that hole, and if there's only 2 yards to get, well, he's going to get you those 2 yards. But if there's 12 or 15 to get, he'll get you that as well.
Second down, they go from the I formation to 2 wideouts. Run a little draw play, and Haywood's looking for somewhere to go, and there is no place to hide. Nebraska defense all over the place. Vanden Bosch, just one of the guys causing trouble. He's in the backfield so much, you almost need to count him as an offensive player.
And it's hard to tell whether he's favoring those ribs at all. Looks like he's running pretty well, trying to find a place to go. It doesn't look like he's getting up every play and kind of rocking back to forth. Usually when a guy hurts his ribs, what you'll see is his torso. He'll just get up and be stretching one side of his body and then stretching the other side. Haywood gets up every time. Doesn't look like he's bothered. Looks like he's got a big pad on his back, though, to help protect those ribs.
Third down, 9. Rosenfeld's in shotgun. Nebraska giving the impression that they will blitz, and they will not. Rosenfeld's looking deep down the middle. Got a man open, and it's complete to Campbell. Down inside the 5-yard line. Rosenfeld's again with another big completion to Campbell. Campbell has been the man today. 34 yards on the play.
Has Campbell caught a pass that was shorter than 30 yards today? You look at the poise Rosenfeld shows. The pressure's getting on him. He sits in there, drives it out, and gets behind the safety. Here's another play where the safety just not far enough back so he can get back, and he can't help out. Campbell, nice catch.
Boy, he got popped as he turned it loose by Chris Kelsey. Just absolutely unloaded, but Rosenfeld's stayed in there. First and goal from the 4-yard line. Iowa State knocking at the door. Run the option. Here comes Haywood. Moving in. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Wow.
Just keep hanging around.
Iowa State is for real. Haywood, if those ribs are hurting him, it doesn't give any appearance of it. And you see what he was doing there, pumping his left arm. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was his left side that was hurting him. So those ribs must not be too bad for him to be raising his arm like that.
A great drive there by Iowa State, and a chance to tie it up. Mike McKnight on to attempt the extra point.
Let's go!
And he misses the extra point. That has been a problem all year long, and that is a big one to miss. So Iowa State drives the field. They get 6, not 7. Nebraska clinging to a 1-point lead. Welcome back. Iowa State has just driven for a nice touchdown, but could not convert the extra point. This was a big play here. Rosenfeld goes to Campbell, a 34-yard gain that set him up to the 4-yard line, and then it was the option play as Haywood gets into the end zone. Haywood now with 3 rushes, Campbell with 3 receptions with 119 yards. He's had an outstanding game as a receiver today. 21-20, Iowa State is in this football game. Bouncing kick against the wind. Bounded, and they're going to rule him down exactly where he picked up the ball.
That missed extra point could come back to haunt Iowa State. They're down by 1 now. If they score again, they're going to have to go for 2 to try to make up that point. It's been a problem all year long for McKnight. He missed the very first extra point of the season, and he's been inconsistent on the field goals. It's been a problem, and it's just the poor kid. They get him into practice. They work with him every day. They try to put pressure on him, and he does great in practice, but then, when you get a mental block in your head, you get into the game under the pressure, and he just hooked it to the left.
T.J. Hollowell was the young man from Nebraska who just grabbed hold of it and went down, just like Eric Crouch did there, running the option play, but Eric moves it forward across the 30-yard line up near the 32. There's the passing distribution for Nebraska.
Look at the plays they've had beyond 10 yards. Man, 1 for 1 on the left side, completed half of their passes down the middle, and then 1 for 3 on the right-hand side, but a lot of passes down the field.
Second down, 5. Nebraska with a 1-point lead, almost to the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Option play, which is no option. They're faking it in there, and Crouch is going to keep it. Leans forward close to the 35-yard line. caught from behind by Kevin Durandi.
You don't mind if you're Iowa State, if Crouch is going to run the option and you can get that kind of traffic in front of him and get some penetration as they did there. For him to get 3 or 4 yards, you don't mind that. You just want to stop the big plays.
Big 3rd down and 2. The crowd is coming up. Iowa State needs to stop Nebraska. They're 4 of 10 on 3rd down conversions today. Here comes Crouch. Nowhere to go. Good defense. It may be short, and it is going to be short. Kevin Durandi.
Crouch tries to play that like a point guard on a basketball court, faking the pitch and then keeping it inside. But Iowa State just had both guys covered. There was nowhere to go on that. Watch him as he comes down the line. You're going to have 2 guys come at the point of attack. Boom, right here to stop Crouch. Nowhere for him to go.
Good play by Doug Dinsmore coming up from his strong safety position. He's the man who really made the stop, and the Iowa State defense is held. John Stadany, the defensive coordinator for Iowa State. Dan Haydenfeld back to punt, almost blocked, but he gets it away with the wind. Look at that thing soar all the way to the 10-yard line. Moses dances a little, trying to break free, and he will not come far. 5 yards as he returns it to the 15-yard line. So Iowa State will take over from their own 15 when we return to Ames, Iowa. Pair of concerned coaches on the sidelines. David against Goliath. David trying to win. Iowa State has been humiliated over the past few years by Nebraska, but they are anything but that today, trailing by 1. 4:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. Iowa State with the ball. There's that little reverse with Moses. Moses, one man to beat. He will not beat him. He goes up to the 20-yard line. So a nice pickup for Iowa State on that play. That play has worked all day, Rich.
It has worked for them. Great play by Craver out there. He sees the reverse coming. He breaks down. You would think Moses has the advantage being out in the open field. A shifty back like that or wide receiver, you'd expect him to be able to make a miss. Craver breaks down, makes a nice solid tackle.
Keo Craver, outstanding cornerback, 5'10", 190-pound junior. Still, he picks up 5 on the play, and you like that 2nd down and 5 situation. Iowa State will go from the I formation. Handoff is to Haywood, who's come back in and really made a difference in the game. He's back up to the line of scrimmage, did not gain anything. It's been a big upset day all day long, and this one has all the makings for one of those outstanding games thus far. We're just all kind of amazed that it's continued with this David and Goliath thing. We teased about this a little bit, thinking, you know, it was David against Goliath. Bet you it really is David against Goliath.
And it has been for the past few years, except for David never had a rock in his slingshot. Now Iowa State has got some weapons. They've got all the tools that they need. They come into this with a lot of confidence, winning 4 games, and they are playing their butts off against Nebraska.
3rd and 5. This is a big 3rd down. Rosenfeld's looking. He's got time. He throws it, and it is in and out of the hands of the receiver. Everybody here wants an interference call, and there it comes. A late call. DeJuan Gross will be called for it. He was trying to hit Chris Anthony across the middle. A late flag. But boy, is that like a hop in the get along.
I think the official had a hard time getting that one out of his pocket, but it is a good call. Watch the isolation here on the coverage. It's just a quick crossing route. There he goes, and he just pulling on his body before the ball gets in there. That's a good call.
Slip the right arm around his waist. They don't allow that.
No, not in this league.
Boy, is that a big boost for Iowa State. Field position. And just salvaging a 3rd down now.
Been the story of the day for Iowa State. Big play after big play after big play. In that case, it's a penalty. But, you know, 4 penalties so far Iowa State has had against them for 30 yards. That's not bad. They were worried about having the silly penalties today.
Haywood, boy, is he just turning those legs as he's up near the 40-yard line. A big gain on 1st down. There is a flag down on the play. We're at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Capacity is 43,000, but don't tell the folks at Iowa State that they have over 50,000 on hand. Iowa State took a 14-13 lead into the halftime. Out came Nebraska. They scored a touchdown, hit the two-point conversion to go up 21-14. Then Iowa State drives right back down the field. They get in the end zone.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Makes it 21-20 after the Iowa State touchdown, but they missed the extra point. That's where we are. 21-20. Iowa State just with a holding call against them. And once again, Reggie, they get back in a situation where it's first down and 20. First and long to go. And that's not what they want to do to stay in this thing. But they just keep hanging around. Rosenfels. Boy, the protection has been good, but he's hit as he turns that one loose, and it is picked off by number 25, Joe Walker. Rosenfels was hit, and it looks like Carlos Polk.
They're calling it incomplete.
The other officials got to call it an incomplete, and everybody else thought it was an interception.
It was a nice play by Walker. We'll have to try to. Let's see. First, he's under pressure, sitting back there. He's had great poise all day long. Gets hit right as he's throwing it.
Carlos Polk.
And then this ball, almost a great play. That ball does hit the ground. Almost a great play there by Walker. But you know what? I don't think Rosenfels saw him sitting over there. He's watching the receiver come across the field. He threw it, and then Walker came out of nowhere to try to make that play.
That one official ran in awfully late to say it was incomplete. 2nd and 20. Rosenfels rolling right. Passes in and out of the hands of Moses. Had it, could not hang on to it. Was hit by Eric Sweeney on the play. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee with legendary off-road capability. 3rd and too many again for Iowa State. 3rd and 20. 2 of 5 on third down conversions of 10 yards or more. Pass on the flat to Haywood. Haywood will not get near the first down. He's wrestled down by Aaron Sweeney again. So that'll bring on the punt team for Iowa State.
Iowa State didn't give themselves much of a chance on that drive with the penalties. When you get to 3rd and 20, you're just not going to have much of a chance to convert that. They've got to punt it away and let their defense do the work. And I think they can count on their defense the way they've been playing all day long today.
Bobby Newcomb is back deep for Nebraska. Carl Gomez, the left-footed kicker, on to kick into the wind. Very strong wind. Gust up to 25 miles an hour all day, and it's definitely affected it if you're going north. That's when it's hurt. But he gets a pretty good kick away. Newcomb hauls it in his own 31, and he is going to be unmercifully dropped very quickly by Doug Dinsmore. Last season, Michelle Kwan by Gomez.
Isn't that the same little white outfit that you were wearing last night?
I'm not going there. Nebraska at their own 30-yard line. Coming on that speed option. Well, Crouch thought about pitching it, but he ran out of room to make a pitch. Dustin Avey knocks him out of bounds.
You know, the way Iowa State is playing against this option against Crouch, because Crouch runs it great. They have a freshman walk-on named Eric Perry. He's on the scout team. He was Scout Team Player of the Week this week. They had him in practice all week wearing a Crouch #7 jersey from a little town in Nebraska where he ran the option when he was in high school, and he got to be Eric Crouch. And I think his performance on special teams really got this defense ready because they're playing great.
2nd down and 5. Reggie Haywood hadn't heard much from him here in the second half. Defensive end until you see right there. Call his number. You like that? That was a nice call ahead of time. Thank you, Reggie, for making the tackle for me.
You mention his name, and he delivers a play. He just does a great job of standing up the tight end, throwing him off as the ball comes in. Watch Reggie Haywood right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to come up, stand up this tight end, and then throw him off, boom, and make the tackle. Just a great strike.
Yeah, Dan Alexander bringing him down. 245 against 250. There's some big meat there. 3rd down and 3. We keep telling you how big these plays are, and they are. 3rd quarter coming to an end. Iowa State continues to hang on. Straight ahead with Miller. Willie Miller. he will be very close to the first down.
I think he will have it on this one. Looks like they're marking it just beyond the 40-yard line.
And it is a first down.
How about this? Here we have, it's a one-point game again. For quite a while, it was a 14-13 game with Iowa State up ahead. Now a 21-20 game. We spent most of the game divided by 1 point.
It has been one that both sides, I think, will remember. That's the end of the third quarter. And it has been a great three. 21-20. Nebraska leads as we head into the final 15. Stay with us as we come back to Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. It's going to be a fantastic finish.
Forget the excitement of last win.
15 minutes of football remain at Jack Trice Stadium. Number 1 Nebraska trying to hang on. 21-20. Eric Crouch looking, throwing it back, and he's got a man open, and it's complete. Carl Buckhalter, and Crouch goes down and is getting up very slowly.
That is a very well-designed play. They fake the handoff to Buckhalter, and then he just keeps rolling out down the sideline. You see Reggie coming, bringing the consequences. You can throw it if you want to. Little pain to take with you.
Nigel Thorpe also hitting him on that. 25 yards on the completion.
Yeah, he was wide open. Could have been a touchdown if the pass was a little bit online, but I think the rush got to Crouch and made him throw it a little bit differently than he planned.
Big first down. Nebraska at the Iowa State 35. They go straight ahead. That's Buckhalter again. Buckhalter with a small gain. Second down. We'll call it 7 to go.
Second and 7 from the 32.
Good look at Eric Crouch. Go with 2 backs in the backfield this time. Really Miller off behind the right tackle. They're going to go to the right side with Buckhalter again, and there is nowhere to go. Kevin Durandi is there. Let's take it to New York for an update with Terry Gannon. Terry? Hey, you've got the gold star. Outstanding job in New York.
That is impressive, but not quite as impressive as you, Chip. You're playing with one shoe on tonight.
Third down, 10 to go. For Nebraska, Crouch dropping straight back. He's got his man, and it's complete for a first down. It's Tracy Wistrom who's going to go into the end zone unless he's out of bounds. Nope, the official says he's out of bounds at the 15-yard line or right close to it.
Oh, man.
We've had 2 or 3 of those today.
Wistrom just comes wide open. I don't know what happened to the guy covering him. It looked like he might have rubbed off the guy covering him on a collision. Watch Wistrom come from the left side of your screen, comes across the field. Nobody picked him up. He just got lost in the shuffle, and then in his excitement, his momentum carries him. Oh, right there, stepped out of bounds.
We've had 2 or 3 of those that have been right along the stripe. The officials have done an outstanding job of seeing those. Wistrom once again with another big play. First down at the 15. Crouch running the option, runs right behind the back, and he's down inside the 12. And Turner hits him in the abs. Good gain for Nebraska.
Well, this is where Iowa State has been so good during the first half. Once the ball got inside the 20, watch the blocking here on the right side first. They get off, they get pressure, they get faces on everybody, hats on everybody, and Crouch is able to turn it up, just get 2 or 3. And I think Iowa State will take that. They don't mind the 2 or 3. It's when they get the big jumps that they're worried about. But they were so good in the first half, stopping Nebraska inside the red zone, forcing them to bring their kicker on the field.
That is imperative at this stage of the game. Crouch will drop straight back. Looking. He's got a man open underneath, and it's complete. Inside the 5-yard line, it's Wistrom again. I'll tell you what, that's the man he's looking for.
I think that Nebraska has found something here. They keep running Wistrom underneath, and Iowa State is playing a zone coverage. Everybody's dropping off, so Wistrom just runs underneath. No one really picks him up. I mean, you might want to just, at this point, now you're on the 4-yard line, you may be compelled to jump into man, or they'd run that same play and complete it again.
Dinsmore and Turner had to make the tackle. First and goal from the 4-yard line. We've got an official timeout. Nebraska, the #1 team in the country, showing you why they are once again. And you know what? It's the play clock again on that end of the field, the north end of the end zone. Near the conclusion of today's game, we will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. First and goal from the 4. Nebraska running the option. Oligan Kraft turning around, trying to make something happen, and he cannot do it. Great pursuit from Iowa State. Chris Whitaker brings him down. Loss on the play of 5 yards back to the 9.
Another good play by Iowa State. They get pressure up the field on the front side. You watch the front side, this Crouch is going down. He's got movement up the field. He feels like he can turn it back, but the containment on the backside is solid.
Nigel Thorpe helped turn him back in the other direction, then Whitaker cleaned it up. Stodaney's defense has really played outstanding all day long. Nebraska with a lot of yards. Straight ahead, Miller goes into the end zone for the touchdown. They don't run the fullback often, but they ran it at the perfect time there. Willie Miller into the end zone from 9 yards away.
Perfect read by Crouch. They don't give it to the fullback very often. You can, as a defense, you get so used to Crouch keeping it. You get so used to that I-back being out there that you start focusing on that. Nobody tackled the fullback. He's right through into the end zone.
Lull you to sleep with that. And hand it to Miller. That's like a Mack truck running through there.
Like a lullaby that turns into a night.
Josh Brown in to attempt the extra point.
It's gone, it's gone.
And it's good. 11 plays, 70 yards, 5:27 off the clock. And now Nebraska with a 28-20 lead with 11:09 to go in the football game. Chase Long set to kick off for Nebraska against the wind. Short kick to the 15-yard line. That's what J.J. Moses rather picks it up. Flag is down at the 24. That usually is not good if you're the return team.
Usually it's holding. Or that. Illegal use of the hands.
That will move you back.
So far, Iowa State.
Illegal block in the back by the return team. 10 yards from the spot of foul. First down.
Coach Dan McCarney does not like those penalties. And just backs you up.
Just last time these two teams came into a game, both of them 4-0, was back in 1965.
Yep. Fullback, 165-pound Frank Solich.
I think he still weighs about 165.
He could still play, probably. Great shape. Iowa State now needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to knock this rascal back up. Inside screen that's going to turn into a double pass, and that will not happen. That's going to be intercepted by Nebraska. Troy Watchorn with the big play. They tried the pass, they tried to screen it off, and then he tried to throw it to Lane Danielson. It was intercepted.
And that was a weird play. That didn't look like a lateral to me. It looked like that ball got tipped and went forward so that he couldn't pass it again.
I'm thinking the same thing. Now all the striped shirts are discussing that. They're going to attack on a personal foul against Iowa State as well.
Wow. Well, bad break for Iowa State on many counts.
Dead ball, personal foul. After the interception, it'll be 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Well, there's the explanation. Dan McCarney not happy with it. Chris Anthony talking about it. Let's look at it.
Pass. He's here. You know, the ball basically goes straight sideways. I guess you could call that one either way. It got tipped, and the receiver started out in front of him when he was starting to catch it, but he had to move back to catch it.
Danielson tried to hit Anthony, and it did not happen. Intercepted by Watchorn, and boy, Nebraska now is in great shape at the 18-yard line. They run it straight ahead, and there is yardage. The offensive line for Nebraska is really starting to push forward. Alexander just keep hitting you with those big backs.
They keep hitting you with the big backs, and they're hoping to capitalize on now this turnover. I know Coach McCarney on the Iowa State sideline is disappointed that his receiver threw that pass. You know, you want to run the trick play, you want to make something happen, but you want to have good judgment too and say, hey, if the guy's not open, don't throw it up there just to be picked off.
And he was not open. 2nd down and 4. Crouch in the option, just will stay right behind his blockers, makes a nice move at the 10, inside to the 2-yard line, down close to the 1. Eric Crouch. Tyrone Tucker making the stop. Crouch is going to stay down a second, not getting up very quickly.
Powers is injured on the play.
You watch Crouch as he brings this, and there's just nobody there to pick him up. You got the fullback leading through, blocks the linebacker who would have taken Crouch, and then Crouch goes down at the end. Looks like he got his legs taken out. Kind of hurt his shin a little bit.
1st and goal for Nebraska. Capitalizing off an Iowa State turnover.
And this is what makes Nebraska so good. When you give them an opening, they can run right through that door and blow the door right open.
The dive again. That's Burkhalter. Touchdown. Burkhalter gets up pretty good for a big man.
He does. That's a lot of weight he's lifting up, but gets it up over the top into the end zone. And this is why Nebraska is who they are and why they're ranked as high as they are. They take advantage of the opportunities that are given them, and they capitalize on them. And they overwhelm you. They just keep coming, keep coming. So now they're up by 14 in a game that it looks like, you know, Nebraska might have been ahead. If you're just joining us, they've been ahead, and Iowa State maybe scored a late touchdown. But this game has been tight until just the past 5 minutes or so.
Josh Brown with the PAT, and all of a sudden the lead is 15 with 9:49 to go. Burkhalter in the zone. At Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. Nebraska has jumped to a 35-20 lead. Turnover really made the big difference there.
It did, and Nebraska is the kind of team that you cannot afford to make mistakes. If Iowa State comes in here and they play their best game, they can compete with Nebraska. But if they make mistakes, then Nebraska has all the tools to just make you pay for it.
Chase Long kicking against the wind, and Jermaine Billups will come forward with it. Just makes it across the 20 before the rush of Nebraska Cornhuskers haul him down.
Let's look at the Dell Solutions. Iowa State never did establish a ground game. That is their strength. They didn't get to it. Penalties so far this game, 8 for 71. It's not terrible, but it's not good either against Nebraska. You can't afford to have them. And they've had a couple of big plays on offense, but it hasn't been enough. On defense, Nebraska shut down Ennis with the bruised ribs early in the game. He missed most of the first half. They got 1 sack on Rosenfels, his first for the year, and they have not forced turnovers. Or they have forced 1 turnover against Iowa State.
Rosenfels now with the pressure all over him, and it's another, well, he flipped it out, but they're going to call him down, I think, before he flipped it out.
Smart play by Rosenfels. He avoids the sack. It's incomplete, so the clock is going to stop, and the clock is now, they got to make the clock their friend as they try to score a couple of touchdowns to get back into this.
Kyle Vanden Bosch again causing trouble, but it was a good move by Rosenfels to avoid the sack just by flipping it out. He tried to get it out to Moses. It did not happen.
You know, he's only been sacked once this year, and it happened during this game. And, you know, a lot of times you say, well, that must be the offensive line. Well, a lot of that is the quarterback getting rid of the ball, not taking a sack when you don't have to.
2nd and 10. Complete to Moses. Nowhere to go as he is rudely greeted by Keo Craver. ESPN football this Thursday night. Coverage begins. Great game coming up Thursday nights.
Michael Vick is an exciting player. You know, you see him make plays. He's like a highlight reel. He doesn't, not every down, it's not something, but it seems like every game there's a play that comes out of nowhere.
Rosenfeld's trying to go to Anthony. Incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th down, and now Nebraska really starting to look good on both sides of the football.
Starting to look like the black shirts of old. They've been a little bit maligned on defense this year. Suspect giving up a lot of yards. That was a great defensive play right there, going up with him, and as the ball gets there, you pull his hands apart, you push the ball, you do whatever you can to break up that reception. Nice play.
Walker and Newcomb back deep in dual safety for Nebraska. Gomez set to punch, standing inside of his 10-yard line. Got the wind behind him, though. That'll help. Iowa State needs a fumble or a turnover of some kind in a hurry. That's Anthony with it. He'll try the right side. He's got some room, gets by a couple, and will get run out of bounds at the 42-yard line. We'll pause and we'll come back. Nebraska with a 15-point advantage over Iowa State. Ames, Iowa, Jack Trice Stadium. Capacity is 43,000. Over 50 are here and not many going home. Reggie Rivers along with Chip Tarkman. We're so glad that you're joining us. It's been an outstanding football game. Iowa State held a 14-13 lead at halftime. Nebraska got back out on top. Then have just managed to make things happen. A couple of turnovers. All of a sudden, it's a 15-point advantage for Nebraska with the football and the clock in their favor. And the big backs running the football. Dan Alexander, the I-back.
But Nebraska is a pressure game. They have so many talented players on offense, so many talented players on defense, that if you're not taking advantage of every opportunity they give you, they just have this constant pressure that's on you. And so when you make a mistake, they capitalize. You make another mistake, they capitalize. Pretty soon they scored 35 points in a game that you thought you were pretty close to being into.
Iowa State was down by 8, and they tried to get a little fancy with a little flea flicker double pass, and that turned into an interception. Then Nebraska's just converted into a touchdown to take that 15-point lead. Eric Crouch on the option pitches it back, and they're pitching it to Bobby Newcomb that time. Newcomb was run out of bounds after a short gain. Bring up a 3rd down and short for Nebraska.
There was one of the plays that Reggie Hayward talked to us about earlier where he wants to hit Crouch every time he comes down the line on the option. He gets his lick in, but Crouch wins that battle. He gets the pitch off and they gain a few yards.
Reggie, Eric Crouch has done nothing today to make me think he's not a Heisman Trophy candidate.
He's a player. I mean, he hasn't had the huge sensational plays today, but he's just been quietly consistent. He's making the right reads on the option. He's thrown some good passes. He's just done a little bit of everything. Nebraska takes a timeout, and we will do the exact same thing. Nebraska with 7:56 to go. They've got a 15-point lead. We're coming back to Ames, Iowa. To go Nebraska with a 15-point advantage and the football with a 3rd down situation where they have got to pick up a 1st down. Not to encourage Iowa State. Iowa State has played in this game the entire way, ladies and gentlemen. They have played outstanding football, a big crowd on hand, 2nd largest ever in stadium history. That man has done a great job. 4 wins last year, 4-0 coming into this game. He told his seniors that they would go to a bowl game, and this team has done nothing today to diminish our thinking that he won't lead this team to a bowl game this season. They are for real. They need 2 more wins to be bowl eligible, and they've just looked really strong today. Hung in there with Nebraska, and this is another big test for their defense. Can Reggie and the defense hang on and stop them on this 3rd down? Straight ahead, fake. Crouch keeps it. A lot of room. Crouch down inside the 20-yard line. He held that ball so long, it looked like everybody in the stadium thought the up back had it. Then Crouch just snuck around the right side, and huge play for Eric Crouch and for Nebraska. You've got to play assignment defense. Whoever has contain on the left-hand side comes crashing down. There's no one there to stop Crouch, and once you get him out in the open field, he is a tough man to tackle. 30 yards on the play. Crouch again. You don't think he's beating you with numbers, and then you look up near the end of the game, and he has got some impressive numbers for the game. 1st and 10, Nebraska. Straight ahead. Alexander. He's down close to the 10-yard line. Big Dan Alexander. Running it again. Let's take a look at the Dell Solutions. Nebraska's offense, they didn't really control the ball. They moved it a lot, but they weren't able. Really, the big thing is they didn't score enough. 200-plus rushing yards. They're closing in on that right now, and they converted the big plays when they needed to do it. Iowa State's defense, Nebraska has marched up and down the field, but Iowa State's defense held them in it all day long. The penetration, they got some penetration to stop that offensive attack, or the option attack earlier in the game.
Straight ahead. Alexander again. He's got the first down. Matt Ward brings him down. Just wrapped him up and brought him down.
Iowa State's defense is the reason that this game has been relatively close for most of the afternoon. Iowa State's offense didn't have their lead rusher, Ennis Haywood. They didn't have him for the first half. They didn't have the production anyone running the ball during the first half. It was that defense that really held them into it. But now the offense, then the second half, they really need the offense to make some plays, score some points, get some things done. And the offense really just hasn't done it. And Nebraska has capitalized on their mistakes, up 15.
Crouch with 17 rushes for 136 yards. You see his passing day, 7 out of 17. An interception, but 164 yards there. Straight ahead again. Miller bulls his way to the 1.
And after a while, you can almost feel a sense of futility that settles in this whole stadium. It's like a little brother playing against his big brother out in the backyard, and the little brother kind of knows, well, the big brother can run over me if he wants to. And you can kind of feel that this Iowa State team is a little bit demoralized. Nebraska looks like Nebraska now. Nebraska is doing what everyone expected them to do. They take advantage of your mistakes. They drive the ball down methodically, and now they're on the 1-yard line about to punch it in again.
Second down and goal. You don't like your odds of stopping Nebraska when they have it on your 1. 3 backs. Stopped. Buckhalter does not get in the end zone.
That is a nice play. Word gets inside. He gets great penetration. Or was that Word?
It was a host of folks. Reggie's in there. Reggie Haywood's in there. Look at the whole defensive line.
Look at the penetration. The back gets met about 2 yards from the goal line. The ball was on the 1. I mean, just great penetration to grab onto him before he can get going, and then the crowd comes to put him down.
Looked like Ryan Harklaw was the first person to grab a hold of him. He lost a yard. You still don't like your odds on 3rd down and 2 to go for the touchdown.
What a statement for this defense that they could do it again right now.
And they stop him, it looks like. He's short of the goal line. Harklaw again.
Well, if you're Nebraska, do you go for this with inches to go?
I think they might do that.
Watch this play on the right side of your screen as he goes down the line. They get penetration. Penetration forces him to turn up, and boom. You got 3 or 4 guys hitting him. That's the key. You got to get up the field so that he is forced to turn up into the pursuit.
4th and goal, and no surprise, Nebraska's going for it. 287 yards rushing today for Nebraska. Quarterback sneak by Crouch. He looks like he's in the end zone, but we're waiting for a signal. It's a touchdown. Dove right in behind those big offensive linemen, and it's hard to keep them out of the way. Dominic Raiola, Russ Hochstein, Jason Schwab on the right side making it happen. Crouch gets into the end zone. And all of a sudden, a game that looked close score-wise does not.
Well, this may sound like a silly thing to say because obviously Iowa State wants to win the game. You almost feel like this game is a victory for both teams. Nebraska has to win, and they have to win big because they're number 1 and that they're Nebraska. Iowa State, the team that's not supposed to do anything, they're hanging in there.
And we'll be back. Stay with us. Nebraska 42-20 on Iowa State, but it's been a much closer game. Chase Long set to kick off for Nebraska. It will go out of bounds, so that will get good field position for Iowa State. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. Dell, providing the infrastructure to power your e-business. And Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular. So Iowa State will set up shop at their own 35-yard line, trailing 42-20.
Well, this point, I don't know that there's much hope for Iowa State except to just try to make it respectable. See if they can drive down and just, as a matter of pride for their offense, see if they can drive down and score another touchdown.
High formation. Rosenfeld's looking across the middle, decides to go deep. And that is almost intercepted.
For Moses.
Joe Walker was back there,
Intercepted by Joe Walker.
as was Aaron Sweeney.
What you want to be careful of, though, and Rosenfels, he throws this ball up, probably not the best decision to throw that out there. You're down by 42-20. It's late in the fourth quarter. Yes, you want to make plays, but you don't want to give Nebraska a gift either. And so they pick something off and they take it back, score another touchdown. The trick play that ISU ran earlier was too much of a gift for Nebraska. That's kind of what broke this game open. You just want to have a nice, solid, consistent drive and move it down the field.
Rosenfels again looking. Passes in and out of the hands of J.J. Moses. Next Saturday, ABC has a full slate of college football regional in your area. 3rd down 10. Pass is complete to Moses. Moses making a great move. Tackle from behind, but not until he gets all the way inside the 30-yard line to the 27-yard line. Big play from Iowa State, and Moses once again is involved in it. If they make a big play, Moses just seems to be the man to make it.
He is the guy that they go to. Rosenfels throws a good pass here, and Moses just gets the ball. I mean, the coverage was pretty good by Nebraska, but he just finds a way to catch that ball and then break away from the defender to take it down the field.
38 yards on the play. Iowa State trying to get some more respect, just trying to get in the end zone right now. Rosenfels hit as he turned it loose, trying to go to Anthony. Kyle Vanden Bosch getting to him and getting to his legs as he turned it loose.
There's Vanden Bosch again. You know, he is the guy, he's a 2-time lifter of the year, and that's the thing he says he's most proud of. He spends a lot of time in the weight room, and it certainly shows in the way that he plays on the field. He's a dominant force on that defensive front line.
He just does a lot of things. There's the numbers for Sage today. Rosenfels looking complete. Guess who? J.J. Moses again.
J.J. Moses has looked great, and you know, Sage Rosenfels, the name Sage is not a common one, but you know, we talked to him yesterday. He said his parents, when he was born, they were looking for a name that started with an R because his father's name is Robert. They wanted to do something with an R. Well, they got to the S's in the book and saw Sage, looked it up, and saw it meant wisdom, and it was an herb, like a Native American herb, and so they said, hey, Sage sounds like a good fit.
Sage Jamin Bodie Rosenfels. That's a mouthful. Rosenfels looking. Pass is tipped and almost caught anyway. Campbell almost was the Johnny on the spot.
Man, you hate, as an offensive player, you hate to see a ball ever get tipped. A tipped ball is usually not good news for the offense, but in that case, it almost tipped into a touchdown. Ball's thrown a little bit high. It goes up for it, tips it up, almost.
Well, Peter made that catch. Whoa. 2nd and 10. Rosenfels underneath the center this time. Goes out in the flat, complete to Moses. Look at that move on a dime, and he's going to get a first down. He's going to get a touchdown. Is he something to watch? J.J. Moses gets into the end zone.
That is why he is so special. To catch that ball, that's when you know, as a receiver, you've got an advantage over the defender. When he catches this ball, he is just going to stop on a dime and trust that the defender's going to overrun it. He puts the brakes on and then just muscles his way into the end zone, fights through a face mask to get himself into the end zone.
And they're going to go for 2. Why not? That would cut it to
15-yard touchdown reception for Sage Rosenfels.
16 points right now, yes. If they get the 2-point conversion, which they're not going to go for, it looks like now they're going to line it up, it would have been a 14-point game.
And the extra point is good. McKnight gets it through there. We'll take a break and a good drive there by Iowa State. We're coming back to Ames. At Jack Trice Stadium. 40-27. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report with Terry Gannon and Terry Bowden. Terry Gannon should be our Chevrolet player of the game. No question. They're loading them up for the onside kick. Gomez has already converted one of them. This is going to be one of those toppers. It bounces up, should bounce high. They're hoping that anyway. It bounces out of bounds instead. Flags fly. Didn't go 10 yards. It's got to go 10.
It's got to go 10 to get it. They had one at the very beginning of the game that did go 10, but that was an unexpected one here, trying to make the play and couldn't get it done.
Rosenfels led his team on a nice drive. Let's show you the one that worked. Opening kickoff, if you call that a kickoff. The opening bunt.
Just a little dribbler. They knew that the front line was going to run off and not wait for the ball to be kicked. He just dribbled it, chased it. As soon as it passed the 10-yard mark, he jumped on it.
You know, you don't see many kickers who make the kick and the recovery. You don't see that very often. Gomez gets the gold star for that to start the game, and that really kind of set the tone for Iowa State to be in this thing. And they have played an outstanding game today against an awesome Nebraska football team. Nebraska has done what a top-ranked team should do.
They withstood the storm. They fought through some adversity. They were in an unfamiliar position this year against a team they really didn't expect to have that kind of trouble with, kind of fighting all game long, but they are champions. They held on and found a way to get out ahead.
Judd Davies, freshman fullback, carrying there, 6 foot, 240-pounder. Tell you what, they got a lot of meat in that backfield.
3-yard gain.
He's up to the 40-yard line, 3-yard gain on the play. You see the clock ticking down. Coach Dan McCarney, I'm sure he's going to be upset about having chances in this game and not being able to convert those, but compared to the last former years when he's played Nebraska, he's got to feel a lot better about life. Alexander from the I-back spot goes nowhere except back to the line of scrimmage.
Coach McCarney has really done a great job with this team, bringing them back. I mean, really, they played Nebraska tough with one hand tied behind their backs because they didn't have their running back in the first half.
We'll take a break, and then we're coming back to Ames, Iowa. Nebraska ahead by 15.
I tell you, it tells you how good Eric Crouch is, because he's had a couple of big plays where he's busted out, but it's been a quiet day for him. You wouldn't expect that he has rushed for as many yards as he has and thrown for as many as he has, but he quietly has just put together a performance.
Darren Diedrich is checked in the I-back spot.
Darren Diedrich.
Nice gain for a first down inside the 30, close to the 25-yard line, 15 yards on the play.
And Darren Diedrich is a young man. They think that he might be the next great running back at Nebraska. They're bringing him along now. Alexander, obviously the starter back there at I-back, but they like him a lot.
He's got a wide open hole there. Cuts through and back against the grain. Look at that move. Dances his way all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and we've got a new quarterback in too. That is Jamal Lord, and Eric Crouch's day is done.
Now, Nebraska, obviously, they don't need to score the points to win, but, you know, it comes into play with the BCS standings that they were favored by 15 coming into this game. They need to win by at least 15. And, you know, with all the people doubting Nebraska, saying, well, they were #1, they go down to #2 in the AP poll. Should they be that high? They've had some problems with their defense. You know, if they go ahead and score a touchdown here, it's not necessarily because they want to rub it into the people here at Iowa State. It's because they're worried about their standings in the BCS.
Well, with Florida State losing today, I think there's no question they'll be #1 in both polls next week. Good look at Frank Solich. I'm sure he's taken a deep sigh of relief. Iowa State has taken a timeout. Producing today's telecast has been Dick Buffington. Norm Salmon is directed. Mike Foss, the associate director. Craig Shapiro, production assistant. Ryan Sensasti, Kurt Thomas, Rod Allred also in on the broadcast today. Mark Lehmeyer, spotter. Bill Stump our statistician. These folks have done a great job, and a big thanks to all of those folks today. Without them, you don't want to know what would happen.
There wouldn't be a broadcast.
Would not be.
Look at the difference in rushing yards. Iowa State comes into this game as such a dominant rushing team. Ennis Hayward, #1 in the Big 12, #4 in the nation. I think their overall offense was 15th in the nation in total yardage.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Nebraska just shut it down, which is significant because ISU stayed in this game without their primary skill, without running the ball.
The executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. Executive producer of ABC's College Football, John Filippelli. Director of production is Bob Toms. Coordinating producer of ABC's College Football is Bob Goodrich. Pitch back to Diedrich. Diedrich cuts back, and there's a guy that is continuing to play, and that's Reggie Hayward. He has played hard all day long.
Reggie Hayward is the guy who is the leader on that defense, and he has played hard all along. You know, he was telling us yesterday, this is his last go-round against Nebraska, and he wanted to come in and get a win. He's a senior, but unfortunately, he'll have to be satisfied with just a good showing by his team rather than a win.
Take a look at those numbers. Whew. When you think Nebraska, you think running the football, and they do not disappoint. Lord on the option. He's into the end zone. Jamal Lord looking pretty good himself as a backup quarterback gets into the end zone, and you can tack on some more for Nebraska.
Jamal Lord had a little knee injury during spring ball. They worried that he might need surgery. Turned out that he didn't, and he's been looking pretty good. Not a kid that throws it. When he was in high school, threw the ball 41 times total in his high school career, and so he had to learn how to throw after he got here to Nebraska. But they're expecting good things from him in the years to come.
Josh Brown in to kick yet another extra point.
It's over!
He's perfect. 49-27, Nebraska. The big lead. We will be right back. Off. That's J.J. Moses again. All day long we've called his name. J.J. so close to breaking a couple of those, but good coverage by the Nebraska cover team.
J.J. must be tired. You know, there are a couple of guys who've been out on that field for every play this game. They've played their hearts out. They have had a good showing, but in the end, just not enough.
Rosenfels will come back on the field. We're under a minute to go in the ball game. Nebraska will hang on to that #1 ranking. Rosenfels 18 of 35, 2 touchdown passes today. Still winging it. And he's got a completion. Chris Anthony. Anthony catches the football. He makes the catch.
He definitely does. And you know, Iowa State is not giving up here. They have a little bit of self-respect. They want to come out and make a play. We mentioned earlier he was a walk-on, was Anthony, when he first came in, but they love him because he's so consistent, so sure-handed. He runs very precise routes. He catches everything you throw to him. A hard-working kid.
Iowa State has done just an outstanding job in this game. They stayed in it until late. That pass is knocked down. They're going to call an interference as Rosenfels was trying to hit Anthony. And, you know, we can't say enough about the challenge that Iowa State gave Nebraska today. I mean, they really pushed Nebraska to the limit. But as a championship team does, Nebraska managed to overcome everything thrown at them, and they're going to come away with a victory. But ISU has got to feel pretty good about a lot of things that they did today.
I think coming into this game, Iowa State wanted to prove that they're not the team of years to past, and Nebraska wanted to prove that they are the team of years to past. You know, people looking at Iowa State saying, oh, you're 4-0, but you must not have played anybody. You can't be very good. Looking at Nebraska and say, yeah, you're 4-0, but you just haven't looked like a 4-0 team. Just haven't looked like Nebraska. Well, Nebraska had to come in, and they faced a challenge from a very good Iowa State team that hung in and hung in and hung in. And Nebraska probably is going to look at the film, and they're going to wish that they had done some things differently in that first half. But but a championship team and a team of the caliber that they are, they hung in and they made the plays when they had the opportunity. And this final score is probably about what they expected, but not the way, it didn't arrive the way they expected.
Rosenfels to Moses again, another first down into Nebraska territory. I think Iowa State's going to win quite a few more games before this season is done.
I think they will.
I'll tell you what, down the road, that Nebraska-Oklahoma game is looming large, is it not?
Man, did Oklahoma look strong today.
Complete again to Chris Anthony again. 35 ticks remain. Not a big gain there, but a completion. Timeout taken by Iowa State.
Iowa State, you know, I'm sure that they are going to come away from this game with a lot of confidence. They, you know, the final score is going to be 49-27, but who cares? They know how this game went. They came in to this stadium with a mindset that, hey, we can play with Nebraska, and for 3 quarters, they did play with Nebraska. They led Nebraska for a while. They dictated the pace of the game. They made big plays against Nebraska. They did everything that they needed to do to give themselves a shot. Unfortunately, they made a few crucial mistakes, and against a team like Nebraska, you can't. They're too good. Once you make a mistake, they will pounce on you, start to run away.
The old saying is you lose more games than you win. Look at the last 9 possessions for Iowa State. Punt, downs, half punt, TD, punt, interception, punt, TD.
A lot of punts.
Next Saturday on ABC, full slate of college football at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Indiana and Drew Ensign, number 9 rather, in Michigan. Another regional action, Oklahoma, Kansas State. That should be great. We'll be seeing that one in this area. We found out Oklahoma is for real today against Texas, 63-14. Completion again and out of bounds.
Pass complete to J.J. Moses.
J.J. Moses with yet another catch. Check your local listings for details. Get all the games on pay-per-view by calling your local cable or satellite company.
How many receptions is that for him now? 28?
Tell you what, he's had a lot of. He just gets open. Maybe it's because he's small enough to hide. I think he can't find it.
He's small. I think he's got some speed and some quickness that's just hard to keep up with.
Across the middle of that pass is just not caught, just not hung on to by Moses. 13 seconds remain. Look at that right there. That says everything, I think. Nebraska with 38 consecutive winning seasons. Florida State with 23, 15 less. That is something. Think about those great coaches, Bob Devaney, Dr. Tom Osborne, and Frank Solich, who's doing nothing to put himself out of the category.
One of the great traditions at Nebraska is how many of the coaches played at Nebraska. Right now on the team, they got Frank Solich, Craig Bohl, who's the offensive coordinator, Dave Gillespie, the running backs coach, Turner Gill, the quarterbacks coach, and Jeff Janrock, the defensive line coach, all played at Nebraska when they were in college, and they bring that tradition right back home with them.
Jump ball and nothing happens. It's knocked down to the end zone by the secondary. Reg, it's been a good one. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a very good game.
Sage has had a good day. 22 out of 41, 2 TDs, 346 yards.
Nobody on the ISU team has anything to be ashamed of in this one. And they couldn't say that in years past. Coach McCarney talking about their performance the past few years. He said it's been men against boys. The game has been over in a hurry, and it's been, his word, embarrassing.
Big thank you, too, to both sports information offices that really helped us out a great deal in bringing this game to you. Probably be the final play of the game. Rosenfeld just unloads it, hoping for a miracle. Tipped, and intercepted. And that's the ball game. Our final score here from Ames is Nebraska 49, Iowa State 27. For Reggie Rivers, I'm Chip Tarkenton. Thanks so much for joining us. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC College Football. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence. So long, everybody.